Why do you have me blocked on Twitter, Johnny
My
Fox?
bad.
All right, and we're back. I had to
Can you hear
restart.
me?
This is a continuation of the previous stream, and we had to do this because there was a glitch of the other one. So here we are now. All right. So we left off talking about Overwatch. Dan, you made a point. I said that I didn't want to buy Overwatch because of the $60 price tag.
That's a
and
good reason.
Yes, and because of the push for LGBT advocacy.
Oh,
You said that idea would
Okay.
not work.
Yeah, that is. You don't,
I said that I didn't want to
Milgoss, you're echoing. Thank you. Okay, I'm telling you right now, if you do that, then there's going to be a backlash, and it's going to end up selling better. Maybe not as much, because a $60 video game is way more than a $4 comic book. But
And that's my PR argument. Point is the message. And
no, it isn't about PR.
It is a my PR argument. I don't see how it is otherwise. You're basically saying, oh no, don't do this, it won't work because of a previous example.
No, it won't work. The previous example proves it. I'm telling you
No,
right
it doesn't.
now.
No, it doesn't.
Uh-oh.
The reason why it's an inapplicable example is specifically because it's comic books. It's also a fandom that's been co-opted by SJWs.
That was how it got co-opted,
I'm
John.
not done yet. No, that's not how it got co-opted. It got co-opted before that. You weren't paying attention. I happen to know a thing or two about Archie Comics. And again, they're pushing. They had before that they had a Muslim character in there because of diversity, and that was the exact reasoning they used. So it was a case of where that had already been lost. It's not a case of where, unlike video games, which aren't entirely co-opted, where you would stand no chance. You're not
Well,
back. Go ahead.
Excuse me. It sounds to me like a situation where it has gotten to boiling point. It has to go to boiling point, and that was when the thing went down in public. So it's obvious that people wouldn't notice before, right?
People wouldn't notice before.
Okay, John. Here's what is going to happen if you do boycott it. They're going to take, even if it's just you and a bunch of people from wherever. Then the SJWs will see the tweets. They'll megaphone them and say, "Hey, look at this!"
And just
and
like
they'll
they'll megaphone the
take
fact
to
that
America.
Zoe Quinn was harassed.
Yeah, and a bunch of people followed her because of that.
There you go. There you go. That's why you are wrong. It's because it's a my PR argument. You're basically asking me to cuck my positions because you don't think that they would basically offend SJWs. But the entire point is to piss off the SJWs and to show that they're a tiny minority in the market. That's why you get one person to tell. That's why you get to tell one person to tell two other people. You tell two other people to get four other people. Tell four other people to get eight other people, etc., so on and so forth.
Yeah, the problem with that is too many people would agree with them in that sense. They don't care if they're.
Then you convince them that it's wrong, and you tell them why, and they will. Okay,
Okay, why is it wrong?
Okay, why is it wrong? It's because the reason why it's wrong is because you're pushing. There's no reason for it. There's never a reason to have gay characters in a video game.
So there's no reason to have.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. They are not relatable characters, and it pushes a message onto the public that encourages more degeneracy. The first reason that I can think of for including a gay character into a game is mechanics reason, like it's a Dane sim or something like that. That's a niche market. They can appeal to that. I don't have an issue with that. It has a certain place in the market.
Go on. I get you.
The second reason is storyline reason. Like, it's central to the story. Having a homosexual character in the story isn't necessarily pushing that sort of agenda. There can be a reason that it is central to it. Third reason being ambience. Basically, like, say, if you have a Grand Theft Auto game that takes place in San Francisco, you'd obviously have some openly gay couples in the public. Those are the three reasons I can think of for having gays in a video game. Otherwise, it's just useless pandering and tokenism every time.
Well, how do you know it isn't important for the story?
It's not important to the story because there's what's the reason why they're gay?
Well, what about like Final Fight? What about like Final Fight and like you say games that push the LGBT agenda? What about you see Poison or
Bridget. Everyone is gay for Bridget.
Yeah, but again, it's more pandering.
No, Bridget isn't. Bridget is pandering to a very different group of people than the SJWs.
True. This is very true.
Bridget,
Remember, there's no
there's
such
a
thing
reason,
being
a
trapped.
story reason behind Bridget being the way he is.
Yeah, but the point still remains. There's no reason to push this advocacy into the video games, and that's what they're doing. It's not
What if
even
it's part of the story, though?
There is no story. It's a fighting game. The story is inconsequential, so it's not a factor.
Hey, John, I'll tell you outright. The only way this would work would be if you made a case that it's going to actually make the game worse.
Because you
if it
probably
is-
had this argument before with other people and got blown the fuck out because you weren't very good at your talking points.
Well, actually, it kinda does have a story, but you're right. For most players, it is inconsequential. Inconsequential.
And as a result, it's going to turn more players off. Then it's going to make them be able to get in tune with them because it is something that isn't normal. It is abnormal, and that's
I'm dropping out for a few minutes. I'll be back.
okie doke.
I don't know. When I played Street Fighter and I was kicking people's asses as Poison, like I was just loving every bit of it. I liked how people in this business said, well, graphics look like this, score, sound quality looks like this, score, story looks like this, score, blah blah blah, and then they just get like an overall afterwards, and the replay value is key. But then all of that's gone, and then a game could have 0 across the board, but then a 10 on story, and just have a 10 overall.
Yeah, that is another issue. But
It's two things. It's reviewer burnout plus payola. What happens is when you review too many video games, then you kind of hate video games. You can see this with the way Bunny Hop feels about open world games, where
the best way I think can win this argument is basically point out that the developers are deliberately doing this not because of any kind of creative reasoning, but because specifically because of advocacy, and that is
advocacy.
Well, then you make it from a quality standpoint. Say these characters are tokens; they're going to be terribly written and all that stuff.
That's
Then frame it that way.
Same. It's one and the same though. If you don't frame it properly, the message gets diluted because you try to appeal to the middle and become a moderate. That's what I see happen. It's like, why is this wrong? Well, it's wrong because it's a token. Well, why is it a token? And if you don't give a specific reason for that, your
Well,
message
then you
will be
say
like,
these characters are crap.
well, isn't that a subjective opinion? Maybe I like those characters.
Well, so is whether or not. Okay, John, if you're going that route, then so is whether or not it's okay to what the characters are doing.
But no, you just said that it's tokenism from your perspective, but you didn't give me a reason why. So I don't really have.
I don't know. I haven't played
to...
the game yet.
We all know where it ends up. Like ultimately, they're gonna try to push to be moderate, and then it's just going to be polarized eventually.
It's the Mountain Valley tactic. It's like if you don't have a specific reason, like the ones I gave, and I can even give you developer quotes to actually back this up. This is not something I pulled out of my ass.
Hey, give me the quotes.
I can't. Hold on a minute. I have to go dig them up. But just take my word for it that they exist because I'm not bullshitting you. They flat out said that we're doing this to be more inclusive and be more progressive, so we can push more of these ideas onto people, and that's the reason why they're doing it. If you don't have a specific reason why this is a bad thing, your message will be diluted, and that's why you can't win with the argument that you're fielding, but you can win with mine.
Can Kodomaru talk?
Koda.
Yes, but I didn't want to interrupt
Gotcha.
because I'll be rude.
This isn't a hug box, by the way. If you have a dissenting opinion from mine, you are free to argue against my point.
Kelly, your opinion is shit. How's that?
There you go.
Now,
That's too
So-
easy. Well,
as I'm now joining this and looking at your chat, exactly why are you wanting to boycott the Overwatch? For what specific reason?
Because that'll get more. Oh yeah, I never mentioned why. Because that'll get more views on QQ's boycott video.
Huh.
Yes, I will fully admit that's the only reason why I care.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm kidding. There are
And
games I
how
want
does
to
this
boycott,
gay, bisexual, yada yada shit fall in?
what the
pulled
fuck
in
is
because-
Overwatch anyway?
Overwatch is basically a TF2 clone that they're branding as a MOBA. It's basically it's a
It's a
platform style
tried-
shooter.
John, they
and-
tried that before. Monday Night Combat, I think was the name of it, but then
Yeah,
it died.
This-
So this one's gonna die too.
Super
Yeah.
Monday Night Combat was a thing.
One of the characters is so gay and
Multiple.
multiple.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. So there's a few gay characters, and you're wanting to boycott because of that. It's just what it seemed like when I walked in.
Yeah,
I-
that's my reasoning for boycotting it is specifically because it's tokenism, and I don't like that, and I don't like the push for progressive advocacy onto games, and that's not something I want.
I love to beat some ass online on a MOBA game, but I'm not gonna do it for $60. And I think more people are just not buying it because it's fucking $60 just to whip some ass online compared to like doing it out of some sort of principle or to make a point.
That is true. There are people that will be more likely to boycott the game because it's a shitty deal, and I would say that you could argue that's a better reason to boycott it.
Look, if you want me to
And
I can help.
just, oh my god, there's a homosexual.
Yes, that's
I'm
not a
not
good
gonna get-
argument.
That's
I'm
not
gonna
the
get-
Look, John, even if you made your argument, this is a conspiracy to end the human race by turning everyone gay. That's at least better
no.
than what you got.
Let me just tell you my reason for not buying it.
Yeah, but I would counter that by
Because-
saying, go ahead.
Because it's a fucking TF2 clone. If I want to play TF2, I play TF2.
I don't want to play TF2.
I
They ruined
fucking
my game.
hate TF2.
I want to play
I'm not
TF1,
playing
but it's dead.
I'm not playing TF2.
Hey,
I'm
TF1.
just saying, if I want to play TF2 clone, I would play TF2.
But the issue is the whole thing about like this being conspiracy theory. It's not conspiratorial at all.
No,
It's
that's my angle.
Well,
Not
your angle,
yours.
I'm countering it. The reason why it's wrong to call it conspiracy theory is because it's not a conspiracy theory. It just simply isn't. It's the fact is they're putting in progressive elements, specifically push a specific point of view, and they're doing this through using gaming as a vector.
Yeah, but the conspiracy part is that it's to end the human
It doesn't
race.
matter that you said a conspiracy theory because it's
No,
bullshit.
no,
It's a straw man.
you're right. It isn't a
He said the
not
reason why
conspiracy.
it's considered conspiracy.
No, the reason why I'm saying it's my
Well,
part.
the reason why you're saying-
The conspiracy part is that it is specifically to end the human race.
Well, you can say that, but that's a straw man, so we don't have to abide by that.
I
Well,
don't.
no, the real reason
don't-
is probably likely to devalue Christian values, Christianity, that kind of thing. That's what I think, really.
Generally, I don't give a fuck about having homosexuals in the game or not. That's none of my
Yeah,
concern.
and that's the issue. If you don't frame it right, then
I mean,
that'll be.
to me,
Hey, you got
it's
a new
the
avatar.
most important that the characters are interesting. If they aren't, fuck the fucking game.
Poison had some big ass tits.
Keck.
And Bridget, yeah, you know.
Everyone loves Bridget. It's not gay to love Bridget.
Yeah, everyone is gay for Bridget.
Bridget is not an SJW character.
But you can't be gay for traps because traps aren't gay.
Yeah, that's why Bridget is not an SJW character. I hate the word trap.
You can't blame a publicly traded company for trying to expand its audience, even if it's getting money from some fucking cult members.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if they're trying to expand their audience, they're going to because they're appealing to such a niche group, they're going to displease certain people like me who doesn't want to have that and can play other games that aren't injecting
Yeah, but John, you're on the wrong side of history.
It doesn't matter.
Hearthstone doesn't count to me, John. Hearthstone sucks.
Well,
Well, the only thing I can say is, well, how does the character being gay affect anything? Are they going to have a gay accent, is what you're saying? Huh?
the problem is it's pushing an agenda for a specific purpose, and that's not an agenda I want to see pushed. The normalization of homosexuality is not one that I'm going to be willing to support.
And how does the character being gay or not affect the gameplay itself?
It doesn't have to be a gameplay reason I'm boycotting. That's something that Lo Ping tried to argue in his boycott video, that if it's boycotting a game for content, you are immoral, which is stupid. You can boycott for any reason. If you don't like the flavor of the game, you have every right to say, no, I don't want to play this game. I mean, it's dumb to say that, oh, you're impeding upon creative freedom. Well, no, I'm not. They still have all the money and all the wealth and all the rights to create whatever they want. I, as a consumer, have every right to say which one wins and which one loses.
Well,
the consumer is the kingmaker.
More specifically, which one you spend your money on, which one you don't.
Exactly.
And that's okay. Like that's not fallible.
Yeah, but John, you got to be careful with your arguments because the goal is to convince other people. I mean, sure, I could say for whatever reason, like I could say I hate real time. I could say I hate action RPGs on Twitter, and then I'm never going to buy another Diablo clone again. That's not going to convince anyone.
Let me put it this way: do you like it when media tries to push LGBT activism? Like, that's the question for everyone in the room. Do you like it when Salon writes articles pushing for how progressive and gay this thing is, or when Vox does the same thing? Yeah, you don't like that.
No.
It's pretty crappy.
It's basically treating the problem is it's continuing to push the whole thing is that's this stupid identity when it's not.
There you go. That's exactly. Then why would you want it in your games? Why would you want a different form of media to push the same message and the same type of advocacy and agenda?
I guess
that's a good point.
Even then, you got to be careful with your argument, or they're gonna misinterpret it, and you're not going to get as much pushback as you want.
It's not going to work. I think we all agree here.
Well, no, it can work. You got to frame it right, though.
No, not that. Overwatch.
Yeah. I will agree with you guys, though. I will agree with you. There are better reasons to boycott the game, but for the specific
using all of them is good. Yeah. I
would say you would have to appeal to a specific audience, and another reason I would feel to boycott Overwatch is because Blizzard is a shit company that shits on gamers. They've been actively going ahead and trying to section off certain parts of their community based on how pernicious their attitude is. Like if they trash talk or they say something in like text chat or whatever, or something.
So trash talking.
Yeah, trash talking, or they're just.
Yeah, the Extra Credits has a video on this you might want to watch.
Mm-hmm. I already know James Portnoy's position on it. He did an ABC special for this thing about how Microsoft is doing such a good job by policing the online communities. And like BlizzCon 2014, we made a mistake. Like Gamergate made a mistake back then by not saying to this. I forget the guy's name, but there was a CEO of Blizzard who came out and said that basically, there's a section of gamers, and keep in mind, I said gamers, not gamergaters. So it's a wider context than just little tries, fifis getting hurt. He said certain sections of gamers are harassers, and they're an unwelcoming part of the community, but everyone who's here at BlizzCon, everyone who came here is a welcoming force, and they're the ones we want to rely on. So they're creating a what was it?
In-group with out-group?
A cabal.
Yeah. That's in-group, out-group. That's exactly it. It was basically creating a boogeyman.
I just love shit talking.
Like
online.
saying we are the good guys and those are the bad guys.
Exactly. And what he said, like shit talking, it's perfectly normal to shit talk on the internet. You're sure you can call him an asshole or whatever.
But John, that's not welcoming to women who want to play video games.
Well, good. You have to be competitive. If you cannot survive in a competitive environment, what are you doing playing competitive games? And there's already options for people who do not.
Yeah, but that lowers the profits. That lowers their profit margin. If
no, it does not lower the profit. It does not lower the profit margin.
Then less people will buy their games. If half the gaming population is put off by online games, then they will not buy games like Overwatch and TF2.
There's two ways to gain profit. Either you try to sell to as many people as possible, or you have a group of people you can safely get your money from. People who will follow you, people who will play your games.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Yes.
Holy shit, Lunatic Hell! Why don't you have a monocle and a top hat?
Yeah.
Because he's German.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was such the thing, then they're welcome to the fucking ball pit in Chuck E. Cheese's or McDonald's. Like, there's so many women that
make money. That's the issue.
There's so
These
many-
companies only care about money. They
I know.
want, and so they're gonna police and ban all the trolls so they can get as many people to come
But
as
if you
possible.
ban all the trolls, you're already banning half the population of gamers by your own admission.
No, because they just won't trash talk.
It's just so ironic. Like, my sister will just beat ass on CS:GO. Like, she would just beat people's asses and just call them scrub ass faggots. And like, that's the nature of online play, to me at least.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you take away those competitive elements and you try to replace it with a safe space, you basically remove all the appeal from the game. It's the same thing that happens to online communities. Once you kick out all the cool kids, they want to know where all the cool kids went, and everyone's the same, and it gets boring and monotonous.
Hey,
What?
hey, that was a good game. Thanks for kicking my ass.
Yeah, but yeah, I think you. But the point the point is, if you care about this, if you care about having free speech, if you care about competitive games, if you care about the whole being a gamer thing, why would you ever support Blizzard after what they said? It doesn't matter if we make more profits for them. Fuck them. Boycott them. Do not support them. Even if Blizzard's strategy is gonna make them more money, so what if they make more money? You show everyone how bad their games are now, and you show them how good they were before, and you show how much better they could be, and you keep that message up. It's
Wasn't
It's about-
ATVI hurting?
I don't know.
Activision?
Activision Blizzard.
I believe Activision Blizzard is actually hurting. That's why Blizzard has done a lot more appeal to the casuals crowd, because they're pissing off the more dedicated fans.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like,
all those World of Warcraft updates, I can see how those people are pissed off.
Yep. Only one content patch, an expansion now.
yeah, that's funny. But yeah, it's a case of where I don't want. That's the reason why I decided to stop playing Hearthstone. It's because it could not be consistent with the values that I care about and continue to play that game. That even if you want to just compartmentalize Hearthstone, the game still doesn't allow free discussion between players in the game, and there's no reason for it.
That's what I like about Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
You could play, I think Tabletop Simulator still does. I don't know. They might not be, but
All right. I'm gonna get up for a second. If you have a response to anything I said, I'll be back to address it in a moment. I just gotta get up for one quick minute. Dan is in charge. I'll be right back.
I just want to mention something about competitive gaming.
go for it.
Well, it's basic human nature. I mean, sure you can play a game and you can build something inside the game, but at some point you want to see how good are you stacking against other players. It starts with scoreboards. That's already competitive.
Yeah, it's like it goes back to sports too, except soccer. I don't even want to because people get killed in soccer games.
Yeah, I try handball. It's bloody.
No, what? I think that was some sort of news article I read that it was like a bystander that had nothing to do with that game. Was not a fan of neither team. Just happened to be around the arena. Just got killed because the wrong team won.
I know a girl who used to play handball, and she reported me that there's not a single bone in either of her hands that hasn't been broken during the game.
Football?
Handball.
Which one?
It's like football, only with hands.
Oh, handball. Oh, okay.
It's brutal. Ooh, I got a little fun fact for you. Do you know what's the deadliest sport on U.S. colleges?
No, well, soccer's out.
Cheerleading.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Don't like girls like split their faces open when they fall and shit?
What was that sport?
Cheerleading.
Cheerleading.
Yeah, when you think you think about that and you'd be like, no, that's bullshit. But like, think about it. You're a girl flipping in the air and they just happen to miss you, don't
Break your
catch it,
neck.
break your fucking bones. Jeez. I believe it.
You could viably say those girls are killing themselves on the field for the team.
Yeah,
You know,
so a bunch of guys can get blue balls while
Shouldn't
watching.
they then, have them do all the tricks on the giant soft mattresses and such that they kind of use for PE, the heavy wrestle on?
Oh,
Well, yeah.
if you throw a person for 2 or 3 meters up in the air, the soft mattresses won't do much.
For your head, man.
Yeah,
This is why a
cheerleading can
lot
be
of
ugly.
cheerleading teacher, former cheerleaders that got so horribly in accidents that they can't work anymore.
I believe it. Anybody got a topic?
I don't want to bring up. I don't want to bring up ZQ, but have we already covered this?
What?
About that post about why she dropped the case and shit.
What's with that weird noise?
Last, I think you're having. Yeah.
What
we
were
want
y'all
to talk
talking about?
Queen. How about this? There's an issue. Like, Evron's original goal for Gigi, as he stated on Twitter, was to get her off Twitter and into a mental institution to actually become a functioning member of society. That obviously failed. Is there any way that could be changed?
Shit.
Shit, nigga.
Well,
She's
I
mentally
think
unstable. Why? She needs mental help. That is not a. That is a fact.
She's got how many tens of thousands of followers that like just now possibly got some advice from her saying if you are in a domestic abuse, do not go to the police. That's the last thing you want to do.
Why? I didn't even read her post. I just read
Because people in Gamergate have been saying, go to the police, go to the police, go to the police. And then she's like, no, the police don't do anything. So yeah, now
Remember,
they're
whenever
a
a
bunch of...
Gamergater says for you to do something, you must do the opposite.
Zoe Quinn, don't go to mental institution. Don't do it.
Zoe Quinn.
All women are mentally unstable. I don't think there's the same woman on this planet. Sex robots, they're the future. Once we can have children and artificial wombs, then yeah, and sex robots, women will be obsolete.
Yeah, but the problem with that, Brad, kind of now the opposite's true. Women can have babies without men. So what do?
Yeah, but you think women are gonna create sex robots? No. Men are gonna make them.
Man, Futurama just kind of hit it on the dot.
Wasn't there a huge SJW backlash as soon as like production for sex robots went up?
I think there was.
Well,
there was a female
Vibrator
one.
already some kind of sex robot?
From what I've seen, and there have been some pretty they try to make it as convincing as they can. These dolls and robots. I mean, you never know. It could replace actual women. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe they're right to fret.
Yeah, they're scared because imagine a woman that's leave you, not gonna take your money, not gonna take your kids, and does everything you want them to do.
And
Imagine
then
that.
the AI gets so good, it gets self-aware, and they are leaving you.
No, because you own it.
It sounds like you need more oxytocin.
They actually made a movie in Japan that's about someone getting one of those, but it was like an inflatable one, and then she just leaves him.
Actually, you need to build more pylons.
I'll have to find it. What was... I can't remember the name of the movie. Air, I think.
Another movie, Stepford Wives. Have y'all ever seen that one?
No. That was...
These men...
Go
Is
on.
that the one with
Huh?
Nicole Kidman?
I forget who's in it, but these guys, they take their wives to this community where their wives turn into like perfect wives and they're perfect women and then it turns out that the owner of the community is replacing their wives with robots.
I saw that movie. It's good.
It's got Christopher Walken in it.
I was
Yeah.
too young when that one came out.
I got a question, by the way. Has anyone already tried out the new X-Files?
No, I
No.
haven't.
I don't watch TV that much.
I've heard about it. Someone was saying that they insert a lot of that social justice stuff into it. I watched the first episode. It wasn't too bad.
Actually, it got a lot better afterwards. For
I've seen it.
example, the third episode, it was brilliant. It was basically X-Files meet Monty Python.
How does that work?
Monty Python, huh?
That sounds awful.
That sounds crazy.
It was funny as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kodomaku, I saw it.
Oh, did any of y'all listen to the Oregon standoff stream?
What happened?
I listened to parts of it.
Hey, John, welcome
It
back.
got boring.
The dude was going off about aliens and the government chemically mutating people and shit. Oh god, this guy went off on the deep end. Like at first he was going pretty red pill. It was like, man, this guy is a Polak, you know. He must post on Pol. He's talking about how the government's run by bankers and all this other crap, and then he starts going off about aliens and fucking and UFOs and shit, and it's like, oh no.
How do you know he isn't right though?
Hi,
there's-
Alarm.
Without everything I've seen the past year,
Yo.
I wouldn't be surprised if aliens exist too.
I would be.
Wait, what did
Didn't
I walk
you know?
into?
But there's no proof of aliens. There's
What are you talking about? There are loads of tapes that exist.
The universe is too big for there not to be an intelligent life. You know, they probably they either can't. Don't have the technology to find us like we do, or they ignore us completely because we're so backwards.
well, the thing is yeah, the universe is so big that there's most likely intelligent life out there, but we're just a tiny speck of dust in the fucking cosmos.
Yeah, but so are they.
How would they ever find us? You know, it's like trying to find a speck of dust in a pile of dust. You know.
As you guys say
They
that.
already found us, but we're like, fuck those people.
Yeah, like they saw us and then they try to like use a telescope or some shit just to like see how we behave. And they just
maybe they follow the Prime Directive. You know what I mean? A civilization is only worth talking to if they achieve warp travel. So let's achieve warp travel. So a bunch of Vulcans find us.
this is going south.
Wormholes.
Actually,
Wormholes.
a specific conspiracy theory. They actually, when they went to the moon, they actually found aliens there.
Yeah, well, unless we go ourselves, there's no fucking way to know whether that's true or not.
I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not going to buy all these alien theories. I mean, like, conspiracies are one thing, aliens, no. I mean,
John, how can you deny?
John, didn't you see the tapes?
We can't be the only one in this goddamn universe. I don't want to be a waste of
Oh, for
space.
God's sake.
There's
Too
more
bad.
proof of the Holocaust that didn't happen than there is for aliens.
Too bad.
okay, the problem, okay, here.
That the gay
I got pictures. You want to see pictures of aliens?
destroy humanity.
I will share.
I don't know.
The alien probing's real. Anyway, the reason why the aliens can't, like, okay, here's the problem with aliens, right? The problem with aliens is, how did they get here?
No.
Fucking
You're all
teleportation.
wrong.
What kind of stupid ass question is that?
Hold on.
Night travel, of course.
It does. Oh, excuse me. Like, let me say something. okay, they exist out there. You know, they're still living on their own planet. I mean, there are some people who think that did come here. You know, that they're so advanced that they were able to, you know, find some technology to.
But by that
warp
logic,
travel.
I can also pontificate that there are interdimensional aliens that are coming here, and that'd be equally valid premise, now wouldn't it?
What?
Okay, what if?
He's talking about
Alien-
Mexicans.
No, I'm talking about interdimensional aliens. Like instead of space aliens,
Interdimensional.
Oh, Indiana Jones aliens?
Indiana
Just going
Jones
straight
or
Slender
yeah,
Man here.
Indiana Jones style aliens or Half-Life style aliens. The ones that travel between
Realities.
Hang on. Zen, you know, Zen. They never said that Zen was extra-dimensional. They said that Zen was an alien world.
Now, if we're going to play hypothetical technology that defies the laws of physics, that means we're basically going to realms that are like, you know, technically correct. That's possible, but it's nothing that can be backed with facts at all. None of it can.
For all we know, we could be there for a few seconds and our minds would explode.
Yeah.
Magic.
Magic.
For all we
Exactly.
know,
I mean-
Cthulhu might just be some bum sleeping on a couch.
Yeah.
Oh, and Kota, maybe there's somewhere a teleport to the third dimension.
I can't really explain this.
Phaedra,
well.
no.
We lost Legend. What else happened with the
Aliens. It was aliens. They heard us
Probably
talking.
Probably should get going too,
Ancient
guys.
fucking aliens.
These aliens actually run Common Core.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
why it's so horrible.
Now that I would actually believe, you know, because Common Core is designed to make people dumber.
It is. No, it's to apply to the lowest common denominator, basically, for the stupid people who can't do math.
Yeah. 2 + 2 = 5. Duh!
No, you
it's
idiots,
funny.
it's fish. 2
It's
+
funny.
2 = fish.
Because I was at work, and there was this new guy I was training, and we were using this. I gave him this scissor, and he was using it. This is a perfectly symmetrical scissor, much like most scissors. And he's using it, and he like switches hands because his like right hand, he's right-handed, and his right hand's getting cramped up. So he's like, "Man, I wish they made these for left-handed people." And I fucking looked at him, and this is a very fucking real thing.
Man, I wish they do. What? My brain hurts.
Maybe he was joking.
I thought that too, and then like we eventually fired him because he was too retarded, and then like some other girl came that did not know him personally or at all, and she said the exact same thing to my sister, and my sister's like, "Remember that guy that said that dumbass thing before that made me laugh my head off? Yeah, it happened again."
Who's teaching the?
Maybe those are magical scissors.
Anyway, got any more news to discuss, or events or happenings?
I do.
Wait,
I have something.
Actually, I want to know how the hell you got on aliens in the first place.
Oh, talking about the Oregon standoff guy.
Ah, yeah. Let's get more into that.
How in the hell did the Oregon standoff lead?
Like we talked about that in the previous stream earlier, early on, but we didn't really have much information on it. Thidrin would probably be good to talk about this.
There he is.
Ah, there we go.
Speak of the devil.
Damn thing.
All right.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
So,
Call for the devil, he will appear.
did you guys talk about the new shareholder report for Twitter?
I think it was brought up at one point, but we didn't go into detail of that. So it would be a good idea to go over that. As far as I remember. Basically, it was a 40% up spike, wasn't there?
Mm-mm. Nope.
All right. So what happened?
Okay. Just a moment. It's crashed and burned.
We got Bacon said the exact opposite.
Well, I'm sure people are going to be saying the exact opposite in an effort to try and maintain their shit, but it's actually been doing worse than before. Their damage control
What do
didn't
you
work
mean
well.
worse?
Bacon said it was doing better.
It is doing better on stocks,
Yeah,
but
like
it's
I'm
still
seeing that.
significantly lower than it was just a few months ago.
This is
It's because
true.
the red.
User base for Twitter
Because
has
you two
shrunk.
red. Can we just agree?
For reference, by the end of last year, it was trading at about $25 a share. It is currently at $15.92 a share.
That's actually an up spike, though. They would
Tidra,
be
It's a significant up
I
spike.
got a question. Can we just agree that Twitter is just falling slower?
No.
But
What is up with this up spike though? I still don't understand.
I can actually explain that one.
Yeah, please.
The reason why there's an up spike is because certain investors got bullshitted recently. All right, and they think they can buy these stocks and sell them for whenever they go higher, because they're thinking that it'll be able to bounce back up under this new management as a propaganda arm, because that's what Twitter's heading towards too. But what they don't realize is they got bullshitted by the person that's been trying to
This makes sense.
that they tried to say. There are 5 areas that will really make this thing, and I'm refining our core service. Investing and making Twitter safer so that everyone feels safe to continue to express themselves on our platform. Do you not notice the problem there?
Yeah, and then these investors don't
Also,
even know that Twitter's
you find-
compartmentalized all shit.
Uh-huh.
Twitter's cancer.
There's some
change
people
the
who
TL
say
for
buy when it's low and sell when it's high, right? That's how some people do it.
Pretty much, that's the basics, yeah. For reference, here's a link to a particular post that is useful for y'all if you wanted to hear about that meeting.
Okay.
a useful post from Kotaku in Action.
Yes.
Man, Kotaku in Action has been really like on their shit, man.
So, Cave, what game are you playing at the moment?
You have the
Let's
full
catch up.
audio version of the conference call. You have the
Transformers.
transcript. You have the
Get
shareholder letter,
calculating.
the slide
Conference
presentation, company metrics and financials, and the 2014 annual report.
Ah, okay. Let's go
And,
to the transcript then.
That 5 frames per second.
Yeah, this guy this guy who put this together really did his research.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna screen share this, and I'm gonna read some of it off. Any particulars that I should read instead of the whole thing?
Read the whole thing, but in one breath.
Yeah, good luck. You'd end up going crazy because it's a 20-page document.
In the
So-
fourth dimension.
Is there making Twitter safer
Yes,
Part
that's
of
the
the-
closing statement.
part of the safety council that they've enacted?
That would be it, yeah. At the very end, before it hits, was Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, saying this. It is the end of it. Thank you for all of your time, and before we leave today, I just want to reinforce what we're focused on, delivering for the next year. At the center of everything is live. We have a relentless focus on making this experience
2016.
great.
The current
Yep.
year.
And we think there are 5 areas that really make this thing, and that is refining our core service, making it a whole lot more intuitive, investing in live streaming video because we think it's a great complement to that live experience, giving creators and influencers the best tools and really monitoring that, investing in making Twitter safer so that everyone feels safe to continue to express themselves on our platform, and supporting developers. That 4th item is what's going to kill them.
Yes.
We've structured the teams to do this and have all the right people in place to move forward. So thank you very much, and we look forward to sharing our progress over the year.
All the
So
right.
they
people.
believe that
Oh,
their
like-
diversity hires that they've just done, involving that Twitter and Safety Council, are really going to help that Hugbots form. It just might, but they're going to repel a whole lot of motherfuckers in the process.
Why don't they just go to Heart Mob? That's what it's designed for, to be a
No,
fucking...
no, that's not what Heart Mob's designed for. Heart Mob is
It
a
is.
stupid. No, it isn't. You don't know what Heart Mob is. Heart Mob is essentially a. It's not even a platform. It's
A
basically
brigade.
yes. There you go. It's a brigade. It's how you get. It's you want an influx of love to come your way. You just go on the website and you say I feel bad, and a whole bunch of people will send you hugs and flowers.
Isn't that what a hug box is?
Yeah.
It's
It's
yeah.
creating your own personal hug box.
Now here's another one. Whenever they were bitching and moaning about ads and whatnot, this is from the CFO, all right? Yes, Mark. The philosophy in terms of the ads part of the business. We focus on the consumer first, and then the business ultimately will follow. In other words, they're hoping for future profits. We've run. One of the things I thought you brought up was around verified users and ads to verified user. I wouldn't read anything into that. We do short-term and longer-term ad exposure experiments all the time on all of our audience segments and all of our tweeting segments to look for both exposure and ultimately rate of increase changes for the marketer. And then, on the second piece, we just yesterday launched a new product for marketers called First View. This ultimately allows the marketer to make the very first impression the first time that a consumer comes to Twitter. It's important to note that while the product already has high demand because it's a reach and scale product, ultimately, this is not more ads or more advertising in the timeline. It's just a targeting change for the first impression when that consumer comes in. In other words, they're trying to sneak in more ads, but it's not going over so well. But they're claiming it will work.
Well,
I want to add,
of course,
I want to
because
add
their
a side
ads autoplay.
I want to add a funny side note to this Hugbox notion. Some time ago, someone on Twitter sent me a message, a direct message, reading more or less, if someone offends you, come to me. And I'm like, don't worry, I ain't gonna get offed or ended anytime soon.
But yeah, apparently though, the thing that interests me is that they're planning on setting up a live streaming video. That
On
might
Twitter?
be interesting. They might be investing in that. That's what's going to be interesting to me.
Yeah.
Their ads autoplay videos now, currently.
Yep.
Oh, hold on, wait. If they invest in live stream, does that mean someone can play porn?
Hell
They
yeah.
probably could, and they're going to probably get banned for it.
It'll probably be it'll probably be like the rules on Tumblr. You can't have porn videos. That'll probably be the rule.
I mean, there's already so much porn on Twitter. So much porn.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
Oh, it depends what kind of porn.
All kinds.
Yeah.
I don't
Good.
discriminate.
Lunatic, when it comes to porn, there is something you should discriminate against.
Yes, I know. The illegal kind.
We don't know what kind of porn is going to end up being on Twitter, all for streaming. It's going to be Steven Universe porn there.
What's wrong with that?
My entire feed is traps.
I have to
Lesbian
reconsider the
crystals.
rules of the open house now because
Lesbian
that's
crystals.
What was that, John?
I was joking. Yeah, so basically they're going full safe space mode. Now, there's two routes that I see Twitter coming into play here. One route is basically Twitter is correct and they'll get a big financial boost, and the other is Twitter is dead wrong and they're going to crash and burn. Which is more likely?
I'm thinking
Is it
the
even
second one.
Question.
I think this
Keep in
would
mind, their
an
strategy hinges on SJWs actually buying into it. That's the problem.
They don't.
They don't.
Actually,
They don't
I
actually
think
have.
it
They
is
aren't
going-
really a strong market force. That's the
I think it's
problem.
going to work for a little bit, but then it's just going to crash and burn quickly afterwards.
What about normies? Would they like the new policies?
No, they already hated it.
Oh.
SJW's already spent all their money buying $25 stickers from Anita.
are appalled by politics, especially by shit like identity politics. They don't want any of this shit. They want an easy-to-use
They
platform.
want bread and circuses.
What about the boiling frog?
That is true, but these guys did it way too fast. They're still going yet. They're going so fast. Even people that have been heavily exposed, they're just allowing to put on, that are fully unmasked, that are complete and total authoritarian pieces of shit, who are known for not being any good, like Anita Sarkeesian spreading a goddamn CP nuke being allowed on the Twitter Safety Council. It's like, come on.
You mean
It's
you meant to
garbage.
say Bread and games, right?
Wait, hold on. She wants to allow.
No. A person that is notably incompetent with regards to Twitter on the Twitter and Safety Council.
Yeah,
That's
And
why I pointed out,
what was this about
whenever
CP?
certain individuals shared CP with her, she opted to spread it with her followers to get them reported faster, rather than simply reporting it and not spreading it.
I heard a rumor that was ever confirmed.
Yes.
it's like
You know how I know? Because I was
like-
people that were reporting it.
It's like when you get an.
That's how I know.
It's like when you get an infective disease and you spread it instead of going to your fucking doctor. You know?
Exactly.
Yes, that was confirmed. It was September 5th, around 10 p.m. approximately, of 2004. 14.
Why didn't she just share only the person's user page?
The user page or profile itself. She ended up doing a specific one where she shared the handle, and she shouldn't have even shared the handle.
This reminds me a little bit of a politician who was arrested for having child pornography. And
To
his
put it in
excuse
reference, the guy's profile, let alone any of the posts, contained CP. Okay?
Who was this?
All the posts contained CP. Every last one of them.
His excuse was he was collecting it to send it to the police.
Hey, that reminds me of what Tenor did, Dan Olson.
Yeah.
The thing is, I will have to do an on-air apology to the guy, me and another guy were arguing way back when, because I ended up citing a case law that he broke, and they opted not to prosecute him in that year. So he won that bet, and I apologize. Apologize for being wrong.
Yeah.
They're more cucked than I thought.
So, is anything ever going to happen to Danny Boy, or no?
No. It's too late at this point. They aren't going to bother. They probably gave him a stern talking to, but that's about it, which I think is horseshit.
Boy.
It doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Now that I remember, didn't he say he wasn't even going to report it to the police because the police wouldn't do anything? He said.
They do. The thing is, they log that. So if people continue to report them, and it's different incidents, they'll have those previous bits to nail them on.
I know. What I meant is, he actually said he wasn't going to forward it to police. He just is spraying it to everyone, letting it know, oh, there's CP on this site. Don't go to it.
Yeah.
You want to know my point of view on this? Instead of giving him the wacky finger, I would suggest to.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I gotta get going.
Alright, see you, Coda.
Peace.
See ya.
Thanks for coming on.
There is an uptick, but keep in mind, it's not recovered from the previous downticks that was last on February 4th, which is higher than its current uptick. Let alone earlier, as in December 10th.
All this shoot the messenger shit.
And then it also doesn't make up for them basically fucking their things up since around the time of Gay Brigade.
Actually, yeah, you can well, no, actually start before that. There used to be less rules beforehand. In fact, at one point, they even got rid of the block feature for about a year, but then they were forced to put it back to the demands of the community.
Yeah.
Or basically some very vocal demands.
I would actually agree with the block feature. That I would agree with.
Why?
As long as it's to the individual's choice to block.
Why would you agree with the block feature?
Because they might not want to deal with that content, and they choose to block the individuals.
Counter-argument.
It should not be on by default, though.
Counter-argument. The block feature is useless and counterproductive.
Why?
I think it's true.
Yeah, it's basically, if you block somebody, the person knows they're blocked, and it basically creates a system where they just create a new account and they go after them. And that's
Mute's actually a better tool than block, I would agree.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, like,
But
I don't know. Like I showed up to a hash.
yeah, why would block ever be a preferable option over mute ever?
it's not a preferable option, but sometimes people want them to know they're ignoring them.
That's a statement works just as fine without the block feature, and if they make that statement, they're a moron.
They are morons, but some people like that statement.
Counterintuitive.
Remember, people aren't rooted in logic.
It doesn't matter they're not rooted in logic. It's the same reason why it's like saying that internet points are good because people like them. It doesn't make them good.
It doesn't make them good, but people are more willing to buy into a block rather than just a mute.
They could do that, but then they're morons because then basically if
They're marketing to morons, man. Come on.
Well, John, at some point you gotta let morons be morons. If they want to make the mistakes, you gotta let them.
Well,
To put it
I
at
don't-
full stop, I agree with you in that they're morons. I disagree with you is that these are morons that'll actually put up with it and want that. It's not like it's like a few little elitist punks doing that. A lot of people wanted that.
that's the democratic point of view. I don't see how that works. Just tell them, hey, you're not gonna have the block feature again. Just use the mute because it's better. It's a hidden method of getting rid of people, and a lot of people have, since given the choice between block and mute, chosen to mute because it's better.
It's just so
It is.
futile. I mean, everybody has access to all my tweets and all that shit. Like,
But
Block
wouldn't it be
isn't
better?
that useful, I agree.
But wouldn't it be
people
better?
like-
But wouldn't it be better to get rid of the options so that it becomes smarter?
or phase it out over time as it gets used less.
is it being used less?
Well, my
No.
point on this
It's
is
actually being used more, not less.
Go ahead, Luna.
well, if they want
Just a
to be wrong and use worse options, let them.
You could make that argument that
Let's
even
follow
if it's an inferior option, it's still an option that they can have. It's just that I don't see the point in giving them an inferior option to begin with when it's just such a rudimentary feature. It's kind of like, do you want to go ride a bicycle or do you want to drive a car? And you're not trying to exercise, then you just pick the car. So it's kind of like, or assuming that you don't want to see the scenery. You get the point.
Multiple
there.
choice options.
Well,
Basic.
I see that it's like it follows the same principle of offering retards Common Core.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Common Core is cancer.
Yes, it is. It needs to be excised.
Exercised.
The problem is they're advocating for safe spaces on Twitter.
Yep, and that's another. That's the issue. Well, actually, that's not giving people an option. That's like removing options of speech from people. That's the exact opposite
The
problem.
problem is that they don't know how to handle the situation well in high school, so they basically created a situation where people can express their things freely. Like, for example, they can throw shit at the police.
Mm-hmm. And it's just bullshit. It's like safe spaces are complete cancer. They shouldn't exist.
I don't think the internet or the web has to come from people not understanding that the
Well,
internet is a double-edged sword.
here's a hypocrisy for them that I noticed that a lot of them are defending ISIS. A lot of them are providing safe spaces for ISIS to advocate whatever the hell they want.
No, that's not true. Twitter banned 25,000.
Holy shit!
But that was back then when they had that lawsuit.
Oh. Oh, by the way, JT.
What's with the static?
Yeah, you guys lost that coming in. Can you fix your mic?
Sorry,
Hey.
it's just my mic's kind of bad.
No, not you, Cave Dollar.
It's my ears.
Destroy the shield generator.
Exactly.
I probably should.
I'm about ready to fucking die here. Here we go.
You got this, champ.
We should invite Rami.
He doesn't talk.
Yeah,
Rami, do you want to
she
come on
would-
stream?
She would enjoy watching Transformers.
Damn it! She wouldn't enjoy watching that.
I'm pretty sure if it ran at 60 FPS, it would look intense as fuck.
Oh, well,
What are
blame
you
Google.
playing?
Star Wars.
Oh, is that the Star Wars
School
Battlefront, whatever?
That's Starscream.
Yeah, it's just Starscream. I'm playing the first one, War for
Wow.
Cybertron.
Oh, that.
It's not
Yeah.
Star Wars. That's Transformers.
I know.
can't
I
tell
missed it.
because it's like running at 5 frames a second.
Well, like I said,
Blurry as
blame
hell.
Google. Blame
It's a
Google.
transformative game.
He wanted a difficulty buff.
Put it on the highest difficulty level and don't be a pansy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did have the online gameplay of it. Because I used to remember playing that, and that was actually it was an okay game. It wasn't like the best game made.
This reminds me of Zone of the Enders.
Meh. I'll
Ah.
just stick with Faraway Story currently.
All right.
Ooh,
So, what other topics
never
have
played
been?
it.
What other topics could we discuss?
The hollow hoax.
Kick.
What is the hollow hoax?
Well, you know that the Holocaust is a lie, right?
This ought to be good.
Where the fuck do I go? For fuck's sake, I forget where I go.
You might want
But
to
yeah,
retreat from this one.
No one was gassed during the Holocaust. The people who died from the Holocaust died from basically diseases and starvation, but everyone was starving. Even the German citizens were starving. So, to claim that they were intentionally starving Jews is a lie too.
I hope you're joking.
No, it's the truth.
Wait. What about people claiming that they would have
That they survived the gas chamber?
No. That what, they had somebody just hop on one leg, and if he couldn't keep going, like they would just shoot him in the head or some shit like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of lies.
None of that happened.
Nope.
No public executions?
Plenty of public executions, actually.
What about that? What about that pit of bodies?
Actually, I will counter male
People-
gods with this. There were actually multiple genocides, not a singular one. And what people fail to realize is the communist purges that were happening around the same time dwarf the freaking Holocaust.
Yeah.
But people remember the German Holocaust better.
Yeah, because the Soviet
They
Union
misreported
pushed
the
that.
German Holocaust better, because keep in mind, what they report as the German Holocaust was actually not the German Holocaust, but the Axis powers Holocaust.
But yeah, the Soviet Union spread the lies. Every death camp that was discovered was actually found by the Soviet Union. It was in
And just about all
Soviet-controlled
of them,
territory.
in fact, just all of them were pretty much on their territory. That's what makes it funny.
What we need is the
Well-
target so we can go back in
But
time
here's the
and
thing.
history for ourselves.
Here's the thing. There was actual genocides. A lot of people were brutally murdered, but it was not simply.
Not by the Nazis.
Now there was some that was by the
Not
Nazis.
just by the
Don't
Nazis.
get that twisted. But the thing is, they weren't the only ones doing that.
Well, the only
What they
It is
the
selling
Nazis
to like
did.
40 billion
Okay,
people.
here's the thing to really drive this home. Okay, what the Nazis did was around the same thing that the Americans did to the Japanese in the same war.
Yep.
It's internment
exact same
camps,
thing.
forced work. Quite a few of them died due to poor conditions, but
Kinda-
it wasn't
kinda makes
quite
sense
the
how-
same thing.
Kind of might make sense how the history books say, like, oh yes, the U.S. did push all the Japanese into concentration camps, but it's not really like Nazi concentration camps.
The only
You get
reason
the idea.
Nazi concentration camps were so bad is because the supply lines were cut. We were bombing the hell out of their trains, so food wasn't getting there. Even the guards were starving.
Not even
Everyone was
just that. It's
starving.
just if you think about a concentration camp run by a country that was
Was losing a war.
well,
Yeah.
they were Jewed out of everything after World War One.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an important topic that I was, or a point that I was trying to push to a lot of people I know, is
But
that
something
they've
important to note is the reporting on that particular incident and the 6 million, et cetera, is a lie. But people trying to
One-
claim that it didn't happen or there wasn't anything that happened, like multiple genocides and whatnot, are
It
also
wasn't a
lying.
genocide, though. A
There
genocide
were
would
multiple
imply
genocides.
a genocide would imply they were intentionally killing them. There was no.
They are
inten-
intentionally killing them.
No, they weren't intentionally
I'll
killing
explain
Jews.
why. It was not because of something as simple as Jewish people. They were simply dropping the bucket. It was any undesirables. They were purging just like the
But
communists.
they
were purging.
weren't. They weren't intentionally killing people.
They were.
no,
They
they
just
weren't.
weren't doing it in the numbers reported.
They were
Or
killing
by the
people.
methods reported. How
Or
were
by
they
the
killing?
common methods reported, yeah.
the media
but-
being unethical.
No, they were
But,
basically killing Jews, homosexuals, gypsies,
Dogs.
you name it.
And people are basically trying to report them all as the Jewish people when it was actually the undesirables.
But there was no gas chambers.
There was no gas chambers.
That's a myth.
So
there
so
was
mustard gas wasn't utilized.
in
No.
World War One.
It was
But,
utilized in World War One, but they're referring to gas chambers from places that
cyanide.
were, cyanide and that sort of stuff. The Zyklon B, whatever you want to call it. That itself is a red herring. Anyways, because the doors in those infamous buildings were wooden.
Were made of wood.
Ah, this makes sense.
Yeah, the only surviving gas chamber is a reconstruction by the Soviets.
Ovens?
Ovens
Weren't
existed, yeah,
operational
they
to be able
cremate.
to cremate enough of the bodies required.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So it doesn't spread infections and fucking unhygienic bullshit. John, your thoughts?
Also, by the way, there weren't mass graves like there were on the Soviet end.
Nope.
My thoughts are I haven't studied the Holocaust enough to make a comment on the subject. That's about it.
Well, the Soviets killed themselves. They killed their own people, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Soviets had the biggest.
40 million
genocide.
people. 40 million people the Soviets killed.
It
more, I don't
depends
know.
on what stretch of time. If you're
Also,
going by the Second World War, it would be in the realm, if I remember correctly, of 16 to 17 million. But if you're going from the time of the Communist Revolution, it's more like 60, 65 million.
And then
Oh,
Stalin had the biggest. What was it? Gendercide. They were killing
It was
men.
earlier, as I said, the Bolsheviks.
Oh,
Uh,
but
that-
no, Stalin too. Stalin was killing men.
I'm talking about the revolution way back
Oh.
when,
yeah,
where the Tsar got overthrown by the communists.
yeah,
got
the,
funded by guess who? Come on,
Who?
I'm sure you could figure it out. The Jewish
America?
folk, the Jewish
Jews?
atheists.
Oh, nice.
also the German did play some part in it. We brought
Now we're just kind of like.
I
Germany
thought
did have some part in it. The infamous Nazis that you guys know of were originally known as the White in that infamous war way back when.
Yeah.
I
And
was
I thought Rasputin was the one that tried to do this.
Yes, but the White that ended up being known as the Nazis that were fighting against the Reds, the communists.
I think
But that was during World War I times.
Shit, you
I'm talking about.
For fuck.
I'm talking
Oh,
Mama!
Get the meatloaf, Mom.
oh,
Alright,
jeez.
that's enough.
No, I think that was a bad idea for him to get involved.
Yes.
I told you. I warned you to run.
Alright. Anyway, what were we talking about? I think we're talking more about the Holocaust.
Why didn't anyone mute me, you assholes? Jesus Christ. I'm just
You
trying
got
to
the
mute this.
mutant right there, buddy.
I didn't have time. I'm
man,
Yeah.
you got so much
Yeah, it
on your
happens,
plate right
man.
now. You got to destroy the force field, destroy the shield generator. You got to get your frames per second from 5 to 24 at least. You got to set your mom straight.
Yeah, you're lucky. You got him. At least he has a mom that actually gives a shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
Yes, I want to add something interesting.
But one
to
thing
this.
I'm going to stress, anybody that says no one was died as a result or there were no genocides or any of that are completely mistaken.
It wasn't an intentional genocide.
There was,
Was it
but
accidental
there was,
genocide?
there was multiple ones. It
They,
wasn't
they
just like it
weren't
was one.
intentionally killing the Jews. They were putting them in concentration camps until after the war, and then they
They
were going to send them to
were
Palestine. They were going to send them to
thing is-
Palestine.
No. They
Yep.
were undesirables as well. It depended on the country. Slavs.
I guess
mass graves and
undesirables.
executions, for example.
I guess undesirables was interchangeable with what they
They
termed.
did not like. It was similar to the communist purges.
Yeah, enemies of the state.
And
But
most
they
of
were-
the time, but here's the thing: most of the time, they didn't opt for public executions. You know what they opted for? Forced labor.
Yeah.
I mean, Hitler started the first Smoking Cessation Act.
It would make most sense. I agree.
It's
Forced
forced labor. Work them till they're done in the most literal sense, and get more bodies done.
Well, the fucking
favorite stuff like
gulags, that's
criminals.
what the gulags were.
I want to remind that at the same time in the USA, there actually was a plot to get a Nazi regime into government.
Correct. As well as certain plots in order to assassinate certain undesirables in the U.S. It was funny. It failed miserably, by the way. but
Yes.
it was
If I remember correctly, there was a general who was given a certain regiment, and and people told him, when we give you a signal, you run over the DC, and he
Yep.
went public with it, and a lot of heads, well, you know.
Rolled. Yeah, rolled.
yeah. Do what you gotta do.
I wish we did have a time machine. We all go back, and it's something completely away from anything that we perceive. It's something unknown to the unknown. And
Ancient
Well,
alien.
pretty much. Just
Well-
that's part of the thing. So, just like in more recent issues, you may know, the thing you have to fight against is historical revisionism, and that goes on all ends.
Yep.
Yes,
Now-
the
Which is
victor
why I've been calling out certain
in
individuals
history.
with regards to the event known as Gamergate, because they've been doing some really major, heavy-duty revisionism, like trying to say it's all about ethics, or trying to say if you're not about ethics, you're not Gamergate, etc.,
And
etc.
there's some people who claim to have been there from the first minute when they really weren't.
Yeah, a lot of Johnny-come-latelys trying to accuse me, which I think is funny, of being a Johnny-come-lately. The thing was, I don't
You're a
pretend
shill
that
for Zoe Quinn.
I don't pretend to have been there the first minute. You already know whenever I came in because it was the burgers and fries logs. That was it.
Yeah.
That's whenever I came in. I think it was sometime on the 18th.
Does anyone have the burgers and fries logs before you came in?
thanks.
Not by much. The earliest ones available are the ones from that time. The exclusive, the escapist bit. Those chat logs are the earliest known.
Yeah, according to the chat logs, Zoe Quinn claimed that 4chan was planning to rape her in those logs.
No.
Oh God. Ew.
Some of them were trying to plan to get her to kill herself and expose her to BS, though. So.
She's the victim of the world, don't you guys know?
It's
yeah,
a case
you can
of we
you
don't
can
like this
totes-
person. Let's spread all her bullshit around. Fuck her.
You can totes get someone to kill themselves on the internet. That's totally possible. That's a thing you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it isn't. It's bullshit.
The thing is
I
that
muted?
considered
Someone?
harassment? No.
No, you,
I like
you can't make someone kill themselves. The onus is on the person who kills himself. It's that simple.
Also true.
Yeah, that's I like Tyler the Creator's position
Okay,
on it.
to explain it this way, they were planning on exposing her bullshit to the world, which would cause her to kill herself. That would be the actual messages involved, as well as a whole bunch of other nastier messages.
Like, nigga, how is cyberbullying even a thing? Just look away from the screen. Turn the computer off.
Walk
Yeah.
away, nigga.
Yeah, walk away, nigga.
If there's no real life component, there's no harassment. Period.
Well, in
And
her
then
case,
those
there would
cyber
technically be a
violence.
real life component because they would be calling her house, saying mean stuff to her, yada yada.
But that's not real life, is it?
Potentially, it could
Just
build up
meant
to it.
be
The thing was,
on that night.
she was pulling the same playbook she did with Wizard Chan, changing her story, getting her buddies to report on it. And a lot of people forget about Wizard Chan and yada yada.
Yeah, a lot of people
Morons.
didn't know. A lot of people didn't know what Wizard Chan was until someone explained what Wizard Chan was.
I didn't
Oh,
even
for
know
reference.
what Jam
It was-
was.
I ended up
Very-
stop a minute. For reference, I ended up reaching out to the owner of that site at the time, Lave. He does technically have the IP, but they weren't Zoe Quinn. They were just a couple of Kiwi Froms assholes back in the day that were that did the infamous posts. That site at the time, Lave.
Hello.
Does technically have the IP.
Hello.
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 Boy. They're just a couple of Kiwi Froms assholes. Back in the day.
Could you turn off the background noise and where you are?
Fuck, how do I do that?
I'm not sure. It depends on your setup of your mic. You'd have to basically cancel out the. I'm not sure.
Oh, fuck, I don't have a clue how to do that shit.
Just form like a barrier of your hands around the microphone. And
No, that's not that's one way, yes, but a better way would be. Actually, no, I do know this one. Just change the audio input of your mic. There should be like a settings in like the sound settings of it. Otherwise, another option you can do is mute yourself, and when you're ready to talk, unmute.
Yeah. Usually works out.
Yeah. And we lost him.
He said bye.
Yeah.
Well,
if you get your mic set up working, you're welcome back in. Like, if you don't, we can also find another way. Like I said, we can just mute and then unmute. So, anyway, moving on.
For me, it's so easy. I got a mute button directly on my microphone.
Ta-da!
Yeah, that works.
I just need to remind myself to press it again.
Ricky Ticky in the chat says, just pedantic, but sometimes historical revisionism is good, when it is a revision to correct the record or to the true history, as in an alternate account to the authoritarian false history. For example, the politically incorrect guide to American history, Thomas Woods' is great historical revisionism.
My explanation and counter to that is really simple. Telling one narrative to counter another narrative is not good. It's a step towards the right direction if you can prove that things are wrong. But if it's not the truth, guess what? It is still just a narrative.
Misinformation is misinformation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The only revising you need to do is to correct falsehoods. That's it.
Gotcha. All right, and Google Button says return. How you doing?
I wouldn't call it revision. I would just call it correction.
Exactly. What's up,
Man, I suck at this. I will agree 100% that I suck at this.
You destroyed that shield generator yet?
Yep. Well, no, not yet. I'm still dying like a bitch.
All right.
Anyways.
At this time, you were.
That one's one of the harder ones because a lot of people will just scream Holocaust denial, yada yada.
Yeah, Frank.
Because
Jews
people
did
don't seem to
9/11.
realize that even the historians have not been agreeing on the numbers and the facts of that particular case.
It was just a really dirty time.
Yeah, it's a bad time. A lot of people
For
did a bunch
everybody.
of bad shit. And to be blunt, you know why Geneva Convention ended up being formed and all that jazz? Because they didn't want a repeat of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everybody agreeing. Let's just agree not to ever
Do all
Well,
this
I
shit
mean,
again.
you know, who's that? Phaedron? Right, Phaedron. You know, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen regardless. People will find ways to get around it.
Which it has, but it took a while.
Supposedly, that's why the League of Nations was found after World War I, mind you. And you see how this worked out.
Oh, wait, the League of Nations was around during World War II? Or was that after?
A little after.
Wasn't it found after World?
Wouldn't Techno say one?
Well, not by much, though. A little after.
Around that time.
Yeah, it was close, though.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes later it's turned into the UN.
Yep. One of the earlier things what they were doing was trying to discuss what to do about the Jewish situation, and their best option was give them a spot there.
Final solution.
Also, I got an
There was no
interesting-
final
Again?
solution.
Holy shit!
I got an interesting fun fact for you about Israel.
Yeah.
Because the so-called David Star, with the 6 points, was only chosen to be a Jewish symbol at the foundation of Israel, at the official
Yep.
foundation.
At the
Before
protest
that-
of a lot of others, by the
Yep.
way.
Before that, it wasn't even anything to do with this.
Yeah.
It was just some occult symbol.
Yeah. Needless to say, a lot of Jewish people at the time were pretty pissed off.
All right. Well, here's a question: why do people try to whitewash would be the right word, but the opposite of it? Why do people play up the ramifications of the Holocaust so much? Why do they create this myth around it? Like
To promote their own narrative.
And it makes the Jews a protected class, basically.
That's
Yeah,
why.
motherfuckers still pay taxes on their house.
Country.
Man,
That's the entire point of it.
I wish Kevin Weinberg was here.
And the oldest, or at least the oldest modern version of how to word it.
If you want Kevin Weinberg in, you can just shoot him a DM of the Hangout link. That goes for anyone who wants to invite anyone in.
Isn't it in the? It's in the
oldest
description.
modern version of victim culture.
The shit working
Yeah,
there?
the
Yes.
Jews have
Much
the
better.
Jews have been trying to be this discriminated class forever.
Well, yeah, I've noticed that, but why would the rest
Even though
of the
they're
world...
like some of the richest people.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. But why would the rest of the world...
Victimhood.
Why would
Why would the rest of the world buy into it?
Yes.
Guilt.
Because the Jews are in power.
Do you
there's
know
also
that
guilt.
that 6 million number appeared over 30 times before World War I? They were saying that 6 million Jews died in the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. Then they said 6 million dies in the starvation after that. The world only had 2.4 million Jews total before World War II. So 6 million Jews died in World War I. 6 million Jews died in World War II. 3 million Jews showed up for reparations after World War II.
No, 6 million showed up.
Little Hammer.
You know what?
In summation,
more
the
Jews
claimed
than-
deaths were more than the entire
Can
Jewish
we-
population.
Can we all
right?
just agree that the Holocaust sucked and okay, not get over it, but don't get hung up on the numbers.
Yeah, you're wasting time with most of the numbers, but not all. This one's only relevant to the points of it was more claimed deaths and people demanding reparations than Jewish people that were alive, which should be able to be proven one way or another.
But historians won't allow that. If you-
Exactly.
That's
Especially
why.
German historians.
Yeah, they don't even start on the Germans.
You
You will
see,
get your ass thrown in jail over that.
The question...
Historians need the TARDIS. That way they can go back in time and check for themselves.
The question is not answered though when it comes to the number of why the rest of the world would go along with the exaggeration of the Holocaust. That
You
doesn't
tell a
make
lie
sense.
long enough, it becomes reality.
Exactly.
That's
Joseph
basically
Goebbels
it.
said
They-
that.
No. The original reasons why.
Yeah. What was the-
Okay. Depends on the country. Like, I'll give
US.
you an example. On the Allied ones in the U.S.,
U.S. first.
they eventually and reluctantly wanted Israel because they figured that they would get an ally
in the Middle East.
in the Middle East.
That's a good point.
What do you,
Um,
somebody told me to join the stream. What's up?
Hey,
we're just-
Kevin.
Hey Kevin, we're just talking about Holocaust stuff.
The Holocaust.
I don't care about stuff like that.
Not a real Jew.
Okay, then what about the rest of Europe? Make that to clarify. Europe, west of Germany.
Europe west of Germany
The
wanted another
Soviet.
spot to get rid of them because keep in mind, anti-Semitism ran rampant for ages, and they figured that, hey, if they've got their own country, we could shunt them off towards there, at least originally.
The
There we go.
Holocaust pisses me off.
Also, I want to mention something quickly. Israel has and still is one of the biggest buyers in German weaponry. We have sold them in 2002. We sold them 2 nuclear. I think it was chips, at least some kind of nuclear powered chips.
At least they can sold dubs.
All right, then the converse question: Europe east of Germany.
Europe east of Germany was pretty much overtaken by USSR, and USSR were already being funded by them. They were basically their lapdogs already.
But USSR was deeply.
Keep in mind, their very formation was by Jewish people.
Yeah, the Holocaust pisses me off, but not for the reasons you might think. It's like there's no people who are alive today in world history that haven't had some kind of racial fucking extermination. Well, even if it's true, let's just say it's true, even if you don't think it is. why does everyone pretend like the Jews are the only group of people in all of history who have ever had to face anything like that? It's bullshit. Every single person's religious group. It's why the same thing when the black people do that shit too pisses me off. Oh, slavery. Every group has gone through that kind of.
Europeans were slaves, yeah.
Yeah,
Here's the
every
funny
single
part.
group has gone through some kind of genocide, whether overstated or not doesn't matter to me anyway. Every group has gone through
Sold blacks as in slavery.
We
to
was
blacks,
kings,
to
Kevin.
whites, and
We
to
was
Arabs.
People like to pretend that the Jews are the only group of people that have ever gone through anything.
If
Or
you want to
otherwise.
if you want to still see slavery today, go to Africa.
Yep. That's the funny part. People that pretend they give a shit about slavery, they don't mention Saudi Arabia, they don't mention the Middle East, they don't mention Africa, who currently still have slaves in the millions, and they abuse them. There's videos of these fucking Saudis whipping these Hindu slaves that they brought in. They stole their passports, and now they own them.
Wait, that
They
legit?
beat the fuck out of them and kill them and rape them and shit. No one gives a shit about that. Oh, white people had slaves for 200 years. Guess it's time to fucking burn the world down because of that bullshit. Who cares about real slavery?
Nah, it's longer than 200 years, but people seem to neglect that slavery is common and rampant even today.
Let me mention something something ironic, almost ironic. I find it funny how they call blacks in America, they call African American, but people from Africa, they shun them.
Well, clearly.
They call them white.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was times where like there would be people who appear white and then they would actually say they are from Africa.
Well, some are.
You know,
in a very literal sense they are, and then they get scrutinized or criticized that like well, you're not even black.
All right, before we continue on this, Viral just joined in. How you doing?
Oi.
What's up, everybody? Oy vey.
We've been talking about all sorts of controversial shit.
Wait,
just
this isn't live, is it?
Yeah, it's live.
Yes, it is.
Oh shit, we're streaming?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I love the Jews. The best. I was just kidding. I didn't mean it. I was just shitting.
Oh God, someone's gonna hear this. Oy vey, the Jews are great, you stupid goys. What are you saying?
Comedy act. Yes, we are doing fun stuff, laughing. Hey.
All right, I know Viral had some
Speaking of
topics.
Jews, I got 3 topics I'd like to drop. And the first one, because I'm going to be here very little, mostly because I'm wasted as fuck. Anyway, yeah, so 3 topics. Number 1, you guys were talking about the chosen people, the greatest race in the existence of fucking humanity, the Jews. Speaking of Jews and American Jewry, there's an interesting thing going on. Everybody, including myself, is supporting the Trump, and when I mean everybody, I mean everybody who does not deserve to step into a gas chamber. Not the kind of gas chambers that didn't exist in the Holocaust. I'm talking about actual gas chambers.
The ones Ben Garrison built.
There you go. Ben Garrison, one-man gang. Anyway, everybody's been supporting the Trump. I love the Trump. Can't get enough of the Trump. Can't stump him. Yet this week you have another big businessman, what's the motherfucker's name?
Kaish? Is that what you're talking about?
I
Are
don't
you talking
remember.
about the guy that did the skywritings for Rubio?
Bill Stern, excuse me. Bill Stern, another big businessman from South Carolina this time, endorses the Trump. Of course, Jew. Here's a little topic that whenever I bring it up, people pee their pajamas because they really don't like talking about it. Trump's got a lot of Jews up his ass. Not only does he have businessmen, Jewish businessmen, left and right, endorsing the Trump, but he married off both of his daughters, and he's high for Israel. So, why is it that we don't talk about that? Why is it that when we bring that up, we just say, no, Emperor Trump's going to fix everything?
Well,
we should kind of talk about
certain
that.
people are doing it for the lulz. Me,
Yeah,
I
you know-
join them as entertainment. That's it. For
There
me,
you go.
Vane as Sanders is entertainment, and putting them both together.
Oh, I don't
they would
find
be the
Sanders
most-
entertaining.
No. I find him entertaining in the sense that he is like the Wojak to Trump's Pepe.
No.
I don't hate Sanders. I hate his
Feels.
policies. He would be like
He's like the punching bag.
He was a
You
good
think
grandpa.
Jeb versus Trump would be interesting?
Oh.
Sanders versus Trump would be 10 times better. He would
I
be
kind of want to
a
see
perfect
him
punching
against
bag
Hillary,
for him.
though. That would be a fun match.
Quite frankly, I'm hoping Hillary wins the Democratic nomination.
Yeah, because it'd be more interesting.
Hilarious.
No, not because it's interesting. It's because I legitimately think that Sanders will hurt America more than Hillary.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's why it would be the more entertaining one.
Well, it's entertaining, kind of like if you lose, it's over.
So you
Not
think
really.
that
There's always other options.
What's your
All of them
reasoning?
are pretty.
I might actually be able to agree with you on this one, but what's your reasoning behind Sanders being worse than Hillary?
Chocolate, delicious.
Well, he's a worse politician and he'd be worse for America, but he's a better person. I don't think anyone can.
No, he's not. That's not
No, it's not.
He's
You
well.
just say horse politician.
I don't know. Every time Hillary speaks, I just want to punch her in the face. I can't.
Every time
And
Sanders
we can't
speaks,
blame you for that.
every time
Well,
Sanders speaks, I want to shoot him in the head.
It's funny.
Yeah, but do
Sanders
you
is
hear
one of
his
those
ideas?
champagne
that made him-
socialists. Guy who ended up having an assload of privilege, assload of money, and tries to speak up for the plebs and pretend to be an everyman. He's not.
No, let me put it to you this way.
Okay,
Okay.
so let me rephrase. Wait, Thid, let me rephrase. He's better at pretending not to be an annoying cunt.
No, not
There
really.
is that, but
No, he is-
only
he is.
barely.
I mean-
Well,
No,
keep
I-
in
hold
mind,
on, hold on,
he's
ask-
better
ask
than
Farrell a
Hillary,
question.
but that does not
Yeah,
mean
okay.
very much because
In
Hillary's fucking
contrast-
worthless at that.
Verlo, go.
No, you see, I personally have a huge problem with commies. I don't know you. Hillary is a disgusting piece of shit, but her blatant socialist nonsense isn't as in display as Sanders. He's literally running on the "I'm a commie" campaign.
Yep. That's what makes it
That is
entertaining.
the same. That is the same. And you may find it entertaining. I don't find it entertaining at all because he may win if it comes to him versus Trump.
Actually, he won't.
Well, all right, let me rephrase the question then. Varro.
We said the same thing about Obama back in the day, and
Let
he
me
won.
rephrase the question.
No,
Let's
I
say-
didn't say the same thing about
Let's say
Obama
that
back
neither
in
of the
day.
two of them, let's say that neither Hillary nor Sanders were politicians, cared about politics, and you had to have a drink with one of them. Who would you have a drink with?
Oh,
Hillary.
Who would you hate more?
Hillary, because she has a vagina.
There
Yeah,
you go.
well, I don't know. You
No,
would
because
probably
she's a
be-
woman, and I just tell her go make me a sandwich whenever she gets annoying.
There you go.
For
I
a,
just
for
think
a
Hillary is more annoying as a person than Sanders.
For the question.
No, she's not. But let me finish the point. Here's the big thing about Sanders. If
Also,
you
you're
think that
deflecting
Hillary,
from the point that Trump's
if you-
supported by the Jews.
yeah, Trump is supported by the Jews. Sanders and when it comes to Sanders and Hillary, I find Sanders much more dangerous because both of them are feminists. Both of them are SJW supporters. Both of them are owned by the Jews, but only one of them really, really wants to put in-your-face commie-style bullshit immediately when they get in.
And-
Hillary's a puppet. She's a muppet. You wear her like a sock. But this guy is dangerous in the same way that Obama was dangerous. You see, Obama, everybody thinks he goes into the backdoor meetings with the Jews and they tell him what to do. No. Obama is the very useful idiot who actually believes the bullshit that he's putting out. He believes in everything he's doing, and he also believes that he actually got to the presidency on his own merit. He fucking believes that. And that
He's an idiot.
and that is one of the most that is more dangerous than a puppet.
To be honest,
And
a
you
big
know
part
what's
of- a
freaking
big part of
hilarious
him-
about Obama? He has broken every single one of his promises, and not only that, he is enacting policies in the same vein as Bush did. That's what makes it lousy. And
That-
people
that's
try to
what-
call him a Democrat.
He already
He's
managed
fucking
Obama
great.
wouldn't have gotten
his
elected without
promises in 2 weeks.
Bush was the worst thing that ever happened to the Republican Party. That's why a lot of people jumped ship and went liberal because he was such a retard. If Bush hadn't been elected, everything could have been different right now.
But
Verlo,
Bush
I
was
agree
at
with
least
you.
Better or for worse.
entertaining.
Verlo, I agree with your point, and also give you another reason to back up your argument. Hillary is likely, given all the scandals she's been involved with, to be arrested halfway through the election.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the election. Halfway through her trial.
Or at least try. There's
Yeah, she's not going to get arrested because they won't. Even if she's done a lot to be arrested for, but we're not at the point yet where we can arrest liberals. Only.
Now-
sorry, but it's true.
Now, the second that was one topic that I wanted to drop, so you guys can kind of fight it over as to why nobody talks about that. Because again, you may be in it for the low side, but there's a lot of unironic Trump supporters.
Well, good for them.
So, and when it comes down to it, somebody's got to be your president.
I've been
Either
contemplating
that
for-
or, come on,
Your
waiting
or's
for
not going to happen.
Wait, Varlo, what do you mean by
Fucking
Varlo, what do you mean by unironic Trump supporter? What do you mean by that?
Well, for example,
People that supports Trump not for the lulz like I do.
No, I unironically support Trump.
Yeah, good for
Here's
you.
the thing.
I do too.
And disagree with other ones. But the thing is, I don't support any of the bloody candidates because none of them are for free speech.
All of them are.
That's it.
Excuse
Simple
me,
as that.
I got a very important question about the presidential. What you call it? Can't
Candidate.
you
Candidate.
just vote a horse into office?
What about Vermin Supreme? Fuck it.
No, not Vermin Surprise. We need
gives
to
a
vote
shit?
in these
Well, Carol,
nuts.
to answer that
That's
specific
what we need
question
to do.
concerning Trump and the Jews. The only reason I don't talk about that more often is because the Jewish question often doesn't come up in conversations that I'm in. That's about it.
This is the best time to make the Jewish conversation. I mean, at the very least, if we're not going to talk about like the real New World Order Jewish kind of stuff, let's instead talk about the Rothschilds. Like the fact that a lot of Americans don't know that the fucking Federal Reserve, there's nothing federal or public about it.
Well,
Okay,
clearly,
that's
that was a relatively recent invention, anyways.
now.
and
Here's
people
another
try to
one.
get away
Here's a
from
more
that.
interesting one, Thydon, that people do not talk about, and they really don't talk about it here in Europe. I found it very interesting that I have this
think
conversation with
I
people
may know what you're talking about.
And
Oh yeah,
here's
that
the
reminds
interesting.
me.
Here's the interesting thing that people do not seem to know. Whenever I ask people here, at least in Spain, I ask them, "Hey," I tell them about the Federal Reserve because they have no fucking clue because that's happening in America. They don't really give a shit what's happening in America. I'm like, okay, so you think that you're much different? He's like, well, of course. And I'm like, okay, who prints the euro? You don't print it in this country. You don't print it in Spain, for example.
It's the
The Spain
European
National
Central Bank,
doesn't
isn't it?
print. It's a central bank. Now, quick question: where's that central bank?
That I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Could it be somewhere around Brussels, maybe? I don't know. Oh wait, there's a bank. There's a central bank in Germany.
You know how
I'm just
nobody's
having-
been inside the Lego vault in Europe?
I'm gonna
The
stab-
fact that nobody can tell you where the central bank is telling us to how little people know. And here's the last and most important part. The European Union is a union of nations. Let's forget about where the actual central bank is because that should be irrelevant, and it's not, but let's assume it's irrelevant. Who operates it? Because obviously you can't have all the countries getting together and deciding, you know what, we're going to give more euros to this guy on any given day. You have to have somebody managing it, somebody operating it. Is that
that
a
makes you
public
laugh.
entity, elected?
Obviously, a private entity.
And that private entity, I have a big feeling, it's a nagging feeling I got, and maybe this is the wine talking,
Let me
but
get
I
my
have the
tinfoil.
feeling that they have screamed on occasion, oy vey.
Well,
I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just going
Central
to...
bank is in Israel, isn't it?
Varlo.
Am I
I would
incorrect?
laugh if that's the case, but I don't think it's in
excuse me,
Israel. If I remember correctly, wasn't that the entities that are running it are like Germany, France?
I'll give you a hint. If you look at the history of the Rothschilds, it's not the Rothschilds, but there's a big hint there. If you look at the history of the Rothschilds, when they initially started their little banking scheme, they went to 5 different countries.
UK. It's the UK, isn't it? Isn't it?
I can actually personally tell you guys about the kinds of ways that Israel tries to influence our politics. It's happened to me. You know, they say that if you're a Jew, when you turn 18, you're entitled to go to Israel for free, right?
Yep.
But believe it or not, that whole birthright thing, and I can prove this, is a political trap designed to spread positivity about Israel. I was banned. I can't even go there. I lost my free trip because
What the fuck did you do?
I posted on poll and I admitted it, and they check into you. They actually check into you, and you can look this up. I'm
Why
not
the hell
making
did you
this
tell
up.
them that, you idiots?
Is
I
that,
didn't
is that a
tell them
picture
that.
of you
No,
showing
I
us on your phone that
You posted it somewhere online
No,
like an
if
idiot.
you go, yeah, exactly. That's right. Like an idiot, I admitted to it, and they look. These people scout when you turn 18. Israel scouts each person individually to see if they're pro-Israel or not. Because the actual purpose of the thing is to have Jews from America go to Israel and then come back and spread pro-Israel sentiment. And if they don't think that you're going to say nice things about Israel, that whole birthright thing is bullshit. You lose that right away. They take that away from you. So
If that's the case, then what the fuck have you missed out on?
Well, nothing. But my point is, I'm trying to say that I've seen personally the way they try and snakily, push politics on people and then pretend it's not political.
Well, let me just.
Well, the Holo hoax is fucking the biggest political push ever.
We
But
were just
anyway,
talking about that.
I wanted to drop. Yeah, I heard you guys were. I just wanted to say Holo hoax. There's two more points I wanted to drop before I leave. The
Alright.
second point I wanted to drop is a little more low key. I like to start out hot and then just kind of take the audience into a more relaxed place. Recently, there's been a one Rogue Star.
Oh goody, Roguestar.
Who's
That's gonna be fun.
Wait,
who's been the target of enormous amounts of monkey crap sent his way, and well deserved. My
Kevin.
question though is, why is it that you see articles written left and right about this guy and how he didn't put his game out in time and how he screwed all these consumers, but there are other people in the exact same, I'm not going to call it movement, I'm going to call it Hugbox, because that's what it is these days. This Hugbox hashtag, there's other people who've committed the same crime and in some instances worse, but they don't get talked about.
Because of the question.
I'll give you a hint who it is. It rhymes with he fucked his son. Now
I knew it.
For those who don't get the joke, who would that person be?
I cannot confirm or deny that person at the moment. I can only tell you that that person is of Jewish descent, and his son isn't necessarily the biological product of his semen, which makes his statutory rape okay from a genetic standpoint. Now, the third topic I wanted to drop, and this is an interesting one, and I'm just going to let you guys fuck around with all three of these before I go, because I'm not sure if... What the fuck is this?
Oh, on topic
Anyway,
2, on Roguestar, unlike said other guy, he actually can offer the refunds necessary. He can afford it because he got himself an $80,000 a year job. And he's spending it posting on the internet because he's a fucking retard.
Hydran, I don't know where you got that number from, but I didn't know janitors had that huge of a fucking salary. But
because you know as well as I do, he's not working there as a janitor.
With Sanders in power, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's there as the official.
As a diversity hire.
Not only
That's
that, but
what
he's
he
there to
is.
literally suck the dick of different employees inside of
Now
Nashville.
you're getting it.
Anyway.
Hasn't been proven that it hasn't been.
Go on.
Anyway, topic number 3, and if host, you could focus on my Screenge thing.
Sure
I'd
thing.
fucking do that. Yeah, let's share that shit.
All right.
I'm also just wanted to point it out because he ain't broke no more, which is why he's saying I'm not doing feet calm.
Okay, so here's another thing. You guys have your nominations for Entertainers of the Year of 2015 of YouTube Entertainers of the Year, and one of them is a very enraged Mexican. You can, he goes by many names: Enraged Enrique, pissed off Pedro. There's a lot of things that
that
are associated with it. Now, I've been talking to a certain Anon. I'm not going to put his name out yet because I'm not sure if he wants the credit. And we've been doing some quite interesting little research on his 2015 activities. In his 2015 activities, this individual was known, allegedly, for being a reviewer. If you look at his videos and you break them all up in time and explanations, this is the 5 columns of videos that this Entertainer of the Year has made.
Whoa, that bitch.
Reviews, that's the middle one. You see, reviews is less than paid promotions.
Mm-hmm.
Even not only in amount but in time. Now here's another interesting little nugget. When these 5 columns, I'm going to go through each of them, but we're going to start with reviews and paid promotions. Paid promotions, these are just the ones he disclosed. This is a guy who's known, and actually in 2015 was caught for failing to disclose again paid promotions in the form of the Guns of Icarus tournament. Now, if you look at these 5 categories, you'll notice that reviews is a small, tiny little itty-bitty piece. I mean, his reviews are smaller in proportion than his penis is to the man who actually fucked his girlfriend. You see why Sargon... This is the reason why Sargon sucks up to Polaris. They kind of like the same things. Now, If you look at each of these columns, the other column, there's a bunch of videos in the other column, which is pretty much what he does. He's other pretty much represents anything that isn't a review or gameplay. It's pretty much just top 10s or him ranting or shit like that. In that group, there's many videos that are suspected paid promotions, but there's no consistent proof. It's just rumors. Okay? The Guns of Icarus is in there, and there is proof of that one, though. The Twitch re-uploads are literally he takes a video from Twitch and re-uploads that shit. Those are also suspected to be paid promotions, but again, he hasn't admitted it, so we're not putting it in that category. Shilling products is him literally saying, buy this fucking product, it is the best thing ever, in which you've had the owners either fly him to a certain location, take him out to dinner, or other things that would qualify as paid promotions, but we were nice and we placed them in the shilling products. So this is one of your 5 nominations for Entertainer of the Year, a fucking industry shill. And not the good kind who shills at least good games. No, this is just a guy who'll shill anything for 5 pesos. So enjoy that shit, guys. Good job. I hope he wins.
So at least half of all the
vote for that
paid promotions.
The paid promotions, the ones that we put in this category, are only the ones that he's quote-unquote disclosed with his lazy little, this is a paid promotion for X. Literally, he doesn't fill in the X. Those are this column, which is more than his reviews. The Twitch re-uploads are simply re-uploads from Twitch, in which a lot of them are suspected to be paid promotions, but we're not calling anything a paid promotion that he himself hasn't admitted to. However, there are a couple of videos, like the Guns of Icarus tournament, where everybody in the tournament said it was a paid promotion and he didn't. Which, of course, everybody got paid except him. Duh. I mean, he's a kind guy. He does that kind of shit.
He didn't do nothing.
He didn't do nothing.
Julio.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna stop you for a second.
Stop me for a second.
What is that thing down the hallway on the right side of that screen? I just have to know.
I have no fucking clue. This is fucking Immigrant. I don't know.
I call it seal screen.
That's
it might be hot, but it might be like cringy.
No, I don't think it's hot. I don't think it's hot. I don't think you want any of that, man.
So for 5 pesos, I can get myself a soda.
That really depends, because keep in mind that if it's in Mexico, their water makes you shit for days. So I don't know if I want to even buy soda there.
What is pesos obtained through shilling? What is that, like peckles?
I'm under the I'm a conspiracy theorist, clearly. I believe that Angry Joe is paid in burritos and tacos. Though, because there is a precedent for that, by the way, in YouTube. There is a precedent for that in YouTube. Keep in mind that Queenie Hearts is literally paid in enormous quantities of Mexican crap that she calls food. So if Queenie gets it, which is why she's such an obese Randy Harper-ish kind of person, I wouldn't be surprised that the Master Mexican also gets his little share of the taquitos and Doritos, Speedy Gonzalez, ándale, ándale. So
Is that
these
the
were
bitch
my
with the huge titties?
huge fat titties, yes.
Who doesn't enjoy? Oh my God, who doesn't enjoy $20?
Barrel, that looks like a lot of good research on that. Can we? Is there like a link you can give me that I can put in the description of this video?
We're going to be putting it out in a. We're not going to be putting it out yet because we're actually doing multiple years to kind of do this exact same thing and study the evolution of
So you're saying with 5 pesos you suck Angry Joe's dick, right?
No, not particularly. And keep in mind, it is physically impossible to suck Angry Joe's micropenis.
Yeah.
I thought Ralph was the only one that had a micropenis.
Except when you got a straw.
No, you can try to snort his dick like cocaine. I mean, that's what his ex-girlfriend, the big SJW who has his, who has a penis.
Balls in a jar.
Yeah. And has a penis, also. Keep that in mind. That's very important.
Whole lot of penis here.
Well, a lot of dick. Anyway, cats and kittens, I'm going to go pass out.
All right.
So see you later. Oh, by the way, fuck Robin Gething.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well, yeah.
before you go, I have one question. Varel, before you go, I have one question. Well, maybe one of you guys know.
He's a man of his word. He left.
Is it true that was that really Acid Man that they posted a revolt? Is that really
Yes.
him? They got it right?
Wow.
Actually, him.
That guy's got a bigger beard than I do, and that's saying something.
That really was.
Customer
I can't believe
service.
he's got. I can't believe that. God.
And he's a ginger to boot. That explains his soulless nature.
Does he know that he's been outed, or like?
I posted it on Gamergate HQ.
People are just freaking silent at this point. But yeah, there's not much else to say.
But how can you possibly post it on GGHQ when all of us are in prison for swatting him? Because every single one of us, all at once.
What's the ghost? Third party. What's the ghost?
Yeah.
I gotta head out too.
Yeah, I still
The FBI came
and
took all my stuff.
Police for hurt Fifi. He can still go fuck himself.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Let's just
having
say
me,
there's
guys.
third party that was involved.
But Thidra, he was totally swatted for real and not just pretending.
Yeah, and whenever I ended up asking at the local spot, and they said no, they talked about it. That was it. That's not an attempted swatting. That's not a swatting. Yada yada.
It's all news.
And he has no FBI contacts.
This is also true.
I don't know.
Or at least,
He might have some.
at least to the best of our knowledge, it's not true.
What does a Scottish lumberjack have any business inside of a fucking gun store? I'm still trying to figure that out.
I thought he looked like a dwarf from Lord of the Rings. Doesn't he look like that? On my ass. He looks like that guy, right?
Yeah.
He looks like someone who would want to anally stimulate you.
Yeah.
So like a retarded
With a
man
smile.
combined with a Scottish man.
Alright.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Anyways, moving
Imagine him being a submissive slut.
What about Mark? What is he dealing with right now?
Mark's just being a retard as usual and trying to lay low after his botched attempt at smearing Jan.
Oh, and him freaking shilling for Josh hardcore for months.
Oh, I hate Josh.
Oh
Man.
yeah,
This is shit.
he is embarrassed out of that one. He ended up apologizing for it, and other people talked shit about him. And guess what happened? He blocked them.
He blocks everyone now. He's like Anita Sarkeesian in V. He blocks
That's
fucking
exactly
everyone.
what he is, Mr. Industry Shield. He can go fuck himself.
Yeah, and Oliver Campbell actually blocks people too now.
He's
He's been doing that for a long time. He's been blocking people for a long time, Oliver.
Oliver Campbell can't take the heat either. He's the one that shielded for base gamers now trying to talk shit a year later.
I just don't get it, man. Like, I don't know too much about Oliver Campbell, but then I saw some things from him on my feed, and he was mentioning about, like, people don't understand how anonymous image boards work, and
Fuck him. That one made me actually a little mad. Go fuck yourself, Oliver Campbell. You don't speak for Anon. You don't know Anon. You don't know shit about it. Don't speak about stuff you don't know.
yeah, and then he behaves the opposite. Like, what the fuck?
I like how he
what
took
made it
the...
enraging was he was trying to say, I speak Anon. No, you don't. Get the fuck out.
If he
No,
did,
I
he
like-
wouldn't be so
At
bummed.
best, I'll put it this way. At best, he would be a trip fag. And you know how Anon treats trip fags.
I like how Oliver Campbell took a stab at Anon with the Lily Fing thing.
Oh, yeah.
How she showed her face when many others won't even do that.
Yeah.
He basically
while
was taking a
self-promoting.
swipe at Anon and grave standing.
Well,
Yeah,
he is a
he can go
lawyer.
fuck
He probably get himself out.
But then again, he is literally butthurt perpetually. So what else do you expect? Come on.
Interesting point Varelo brought up that I want to discuss more than the other 2 points. Although the Angry Joe stuff is also worth talking about, as well as that point you made about Roguestar in comparison to other developers.
Oh, you broke Star?
Mr. Black Hat, who ended up getting banned from BNF, whenever only a few people did.
Well, the point about Trump's Jewish connections within his relationship with Israel, which I think is the important key thing there.
Yep.
What would start happening if more people were critical of him on that basis?
He would probably block them in this vein of Anita Sarkeesian.
So basically, if anyone starts bringing that up, they just get isolated.
Yep. You already know the drill.
Second question.
Compartmentalize that shit.
But a lot of people think Israel is our ally, so even,
There you go.
like everyone thinks America and Israel are great allies.
Well, there is some real there is some symbiosis in the relationship that's outweighed by negative.
Getting to the point of better control.
It's outweighed by negative consequences. Really more for the technology, which can be corporatized anyway. When you get down to it, what was it? Is like my position on Israel. I like as far as I'm concerned, the Palestinian issue is just kind of like a wedge issue the United States can use against Israel. And as far as the United States need to help Israel, why can't Israel help itself? It did a good job in the past, like with the Six-Day
They have the central bank.
Six-Day War.
It's because it's
This
racist
is
to
a
defend
war.
yourself now.
No help, no allies. They beat him in 6 days.
It was previous support.
Yeah, but things are different today, John. It's now racist. It's actually racist to defend yourselves, and I'm not speaking just for Israel. I mean any country.
Yeah.
If somebody launches
It's
a
racist
mortar
to have
missile-
your own national identity.
I like how
If
there's a
somebody-
special word for racism against Jews.
Well, I don't care.
Anti-Semitism.
Well, people need to.
Anti-Semitism.
Okay, here's something I really don't get about this whole racism and sexism thing. Why haven't people realized that being racist and sexist makes you normal?
It's a part of who you are.
It's because people keep pushing that shit that it's a social construct.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But the thing is, they're basically attempting to take ethnocentrism, all right, which is feeling of superiority in a wide variety of axes, including national identity, and applying it collectively when it doesn't work that way. And anybody that keeps trying to force it into like those little boxes, if that sort of bit, will eventually hit that wall. It's like people are not they're not just all biases. They're more beyond their biases. The interpretation of those biases and the resulting experiences with other people.
Exactly. I agree with that.
I wish I had that argument leverage that Stan did in South Park that said, yeah, but I know a thing or two about running a cult. I ran one once.
The thing about,
Apparently, I am running a cult now. So.
Also, the words racism and sexism don't mean what they're supposed to mean. Most people they call a racist is someone who will not even speak to someone of a race they don't like. They won't be in the same room as them, or without being violent. Having criticism.
Racism and sexism is discrimination based on sex or race, respectively.
That's it.
Yeah. So not
Right,
liking someone.
okay,
or
put
not
this
liking
in perspective.
Nobody
I
likes
have
100%
actually asked
everything.
another person on this example. Do you think chivalry is sexist?
Yes, kind of a little
It
bit.
is clearly sexist.
Towards
It's with
men.
a positive bias towards women. In other words, protecting of women, opening doors for women, that sort of stuff, being a gentleman, that's still sexist. Because they're doing it because of the base of their gender.
I don't see that as wrong.
I think someone raised the point.
That's what I was about to say. Is it even wrong? That's the problem that we face. It's like,
it's a waste.
Yeah, there's racism.
I see it
But-
more so as it's not about what's right or wrong. It's about what's natural and what's not.
In my case, it's more about what biases you have, and it's just a part of who you are. It's
Yeah.
humanity. Why are you trying to pretend that you are not what you are? It's like trying to distance yourself from your overall animal nature. Like these people that say, "Oh, I'm no animal." Yes, you are.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're alive and you've evolved from a lesser, but these people don't actually.
And actually, human still is an ape.
Let me give another example.
Well, we're not an ape anymore, but.
Let me give another example. I don't believe in mixed racing. I don't think it's very beneficial, and I personally don't find other races attractive. I don't see anything wrong with that either.
There was
You'd be called a racist for that, by the way.
I don't
There's
care.
Yeah.
There's a high school in my neighborhood that they were trying to do 20% of all ethnicities and shit like that or something, so it's all evenly distributed. And then my friend, who happened to be white, they turned them around and said, we have way too many white people for our school. We've hit our quota. And there was a huge lawsuit because you're essentially telling a kid he can't attend this school because he's white.
Yeah. Actually,
if they really want to do it with representative sampling, do it on a national scale. And guess who would end up losing?
Well, let me guess. We got in the USA in the year 2014. It was, I think, 73% white people and about 13% black people. So yeah, it should be obvious.
Can I respond to what John
Left.
just said about race mixing? The thing is that if he hadn't been white, and the thing is, I've seen it all my life. Jews saying you got to marry your own kind, you got to marry a Jew, you got to marry a Jew. Why is it racist if only if a white person says that? How come if someone who's black, for example, says that, or someone who's Jewish says that? Because it's true. Didn't Beyonce just make a song that basically said, made those sentiments some kind of controversy. I can't give up with the Tumblr bullshit. But my point is that if it's racist what John just said, then it should be racist no matter who does it. But it's not racist. It's only.
I agree. It actually is racist in all those cases. The thing is, though, I don't find racism to be inherently evil.
I was actually banned for making the point from Poll for making this point.
What I find to be evil, and I think what people miss, is dehumanization, and that's the thing that they really should have hammered home rather than, oh no, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're an exist, or whatever. There's so many of these things that are just wrong. It's like, no, that there are inherent differences, and you will discriminate based on those differences. There's no point in trying to sugarcoat it, like Thidron said.
Yeah. Well, not everyone is the same, though.
No,
of course,
not
people are not equal. Egalitarianism is a lie.
Yeah.
People should have the same rights, but I think we let the word, because what feminists are fighting for example, or liberals, they're not fighting for equal rights.
No, let me stop you there. I don't even agree that people should have the same rights, mainly because of the differences. Yeah, like for example, can men have paternal rights? Sorry, men can have maternal rights, pregnancy, etc. Maternal.
Well, obviously a man can't abort a pregnancy because he can't get pregnant.
Paper abortions.
What's a paper abortion?
Obviously, therefore, a woman would have more rights than a man in regards to pregnancy.
Paper abortion is basically women can terminate a pregnancy, but a man has no option. Men do not have reproductive rights. It's all on the woman.
Oh, so basically, I see what you're saying. So men have basically, I know what you mean. Women have control over life and death, literally, and men have
so if a woman can terminate a pregnancy, then a man should be able to say, paper abortion, I don't want this child. It's all yours. No child support, nothing.
I agree with you, but I thought what you were going to say was a man should be able to say, and I wouldn't agree with, a man should be able to say, I want that child aborted. That I wouldn't agree with, but I do agree.
I really do not agree with MRAs on this issue, because they're basically trying to play equal time with child rearing, and it's disgusting. If you're a father, you have responsibility over a child that you procreate. Now, they may have a point.
I think if you knock a girl up, you should be able to walk away and not have to pay child support.
Well, not if
I don't agree with that.
No, not if.
I don't agree with that one.
I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with that.
Well, if a woman can be pregnant and go get an abortion and take, then why can't a man walk away from that child too?
I agree with the hypocrisy, but I don't agree with the outcome. I don't think that the solution here is to make it said you could just have kids and then leave them on the street.
No, I'm not saying have a kid. Let's say I just hook up with some chick who tells me she's pregnant 2 months later, and I should be able to say, well, I don't want that child, so.
Well, no, because then it's your responsibility because you had the, you did the.
But she can say no, I don't want that child.
I agree with the hypocrisy of it. It's hypocritical and it's wrong, but I don't agree that the solution would be to just make a law that says you can just say nope.
Well, I bet you a lot fewer chicks would be getting pregnant if that was the law.
No, because like
and abusing
earlier, it's human nature. People are gonna fuck. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, but women abuse the legal system. Men are freaking raped.
I agree with that. I agree with. But the reason I end up disagreeing with it shouldn't be both ends should be less responsible. It should be both ends should be more responsible.
More responsible, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
That's why I disagree.
These days, MRAs act a lot more like feminists than they used to. I'm not very pleased with MRAs either.
Yeah.
Like they want the exact same things, just with the word men attached to it instead of women.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about that.
Going back to the other thing about Trump and Israel, should this be a thing that people be putting to the forefront now, or is it better, as Beryl was saying, because he was pointing out how a lot of these issues he's bringing up with foreign relations with Jewish groups and also Israel aren't brought up. Is it something that should be talked about more often?
Well, John, the guy's a billionaire.
If you want to talk about it.
Well, let's just limit it to the context of the election that Trump is in.
We've got more stressing priorities.
Pardon me. I just want to say I'm going to terminate the call. I still have some stuff to do.
All right.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Maybe have a good one.
You too. All right.
But the Jewish connection with Trump, I mean, you're not going to get a lot of support with that because many Americans still support Israel.
That's true.
You could bring it up, but it's not going to go anywhere. Trump's still going to be a freaking powerhouse.
Right, but is it something that the American people should be more alert on? Because take, for example, the issue that Trump, the freedom of speech issue that Thidron brought up, right? Now, given that Trump has said some things that are counter freedom of speech, I think it's absolutely necessary that Trump supporters...
Wait, what did he say? John, can you fill me in? Because I'm not familiar with what he said that was counter freedom of speech.
Okay. There was 2 instances. In one of the debates, and before that, at a rally at on the date of what was it called again? The anniversary of D-Day, or V-Day, or when the Pearl Harbor attacks. There was a Pearl Harbor rally on December 11th, the anniversary of the event, and he said that ISIS needs to be uprooted and not be allowed to have influence over the internet and stuff like that. And to do that, you would have to eliminate the anonymity on the internet, correct?
Right.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Did he actually outright say
Yeah,
that?
I remember that.
I'll see you later, guys. I gotta head out to work.
All right, have a good night.
Later.
Did he outright say that he has to eliminate anonymity, or did he just not realize that that would be a consequence of what, or a solution?
I don't think he realized that would be a consequence. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I think he did realize it would be a consequence, which is why he was going ahead and what was it? I think he did realize it was a consequence, and he did realize it was a consequence. But he said some people will say freedom of speech, but who cares about freedom of speech? Our like a secure nation comes first. That's him putting security above freedoms, and that is not something I can support. Yeah, even if it is against something that I despise, which is Islam, and you can't use that as an excuse to take such control.
Censor.
Yeah, and it's not even a case of where it's like an absolutely necessary or anything like that. It's just, hey, let's just go ahead and do it because we can, and it will make our jobs easier, or supposedly. I don't even think it would. I would rather these people be more public so we can catch them more easily. That's my opinion on that.
But then that's decreased anonymity too.
Yeah, so the question is, would you say that there's equal responsibility to write to Trump about, say, foreign affairs with Israel as it is with internet anonymity?
Yep, it's worth it to voice your concerns, especially if you intend to support him. But keep in mind that you're going to be up against quite a bit of people that think otherwise.
Yeah, and that's
as
one
long
of
as
the
you
reasons
accept
why
that and understand it, go ahead.
I think that this is a sobering reminder, and this applies more to myself probably than anyone else in here. It's good not to idolize anyone because all people are people and they'll disappoint you. And like I don't like hearing these things about Trump because I want to, subconsciously I want him to be like the kind of hero that like that he tries to come up across. But he's probably a shithead like everyone else in the world.
Well, he made that obvious.
Human.
Yeah, well, he made that obvious through earlier antics before this run for presidency. Though he has been. As far as this election goes, he's been better than the other candidates, which is why I'm backing Trump for this election, because he's the best out of the bunch. I get where Thidron is coming from, where he says that he can't support Trump because he doesn't agree with him on all the issues, but I don't get the point in saying that when it comes to elections. It's not a matter of compromising principles. It's a matter of when you go for election. It's
a case of no one supports the principles that I actually give a fuck about. Therefore, there is no point in me. If they're all basically are shitting on the few things I care about, why would I bother caring about any of them?
Survival.
Probably because, survival, exactly. Sometimes you just have to try and influence things to be as less shitty as you can.
Yeah, I don't think, unless survival isn't one of those principles, then I really don't think you can take that position.
Sure, I could.
You could, but then you would be going against your own principles.
Yeah, you would. He's right.
Also
John's
true.
right on this one.
But the thing is, I don't necessarily believe that he would end up supporting my survival any more than anyone else. Although he does have some interesting policies, and some of which I agree with.
how could Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton help out with your survival than Trump would?
Because
Trump would
I'm
actually,
a broke motherfucker and I would get a lot of free shit.
Perhaps you would,
but at the expense of a whole bunch of other people. Keep in mind, if you're bottom man in the totem pole enough, you'll end up being treated like shit no matter who's in charge.
Yeah. But the question is, but I don't see Bernie Sanders really helping the stability of the nation, and I don't see him helping foreign affairs, and I don't see Hillary Clinton doing either.
I don't see Trump doing any better, except he claims to do better.
What about excising the immigrants? If he
actually goes through with it, I would be all for it.
So you doubt he can actually do that?
No, he will do it. You know what?
I'll
It's
give you
what
an
the
idea
American
of
people
the
want.
scale of that promise to me. That is on scale of that idiot Obama claiming that he'd close down Gitmo. Guess what? It's still there.
That's a good point.
The thing is that Obama can't do anything because everybody in Congress, even the Democrats, don't respect him. So he can't get anything done anymore. Trump has a mandate. When a president first comes into office, they have a mandate to do the one thing that they ran on, which they always accomplish too. Obama ran on Obamacare and he got it. Trump is running on this. He'll get it. He'll have a mandate. He'll be able to push it through. After that, it's you can't.
You don't get a damn thing done.
Yeah, exactly. You get one thing done as a president. That's usually how it goes in this country. You got a mandate that you ran on. You know what you can always say the American people want this. They elected me to do this, and usually you get that one thing that no matter how fucking retarded it is, like Obamacare, you get that one thing that you wanted pushed through. But then after that, it's pretty much over. That's why if that's the one thing he does, then I'm all for it as well.
All right. Yep. Also, we have I believe Zan. Is that you?
Dank memes.
Hey Zan, long time no speak. How you been?
I'm not dead, contrary to what everybody thinks. No, I've been fine. Just been fucking around. I saw that you were doing a stream, so I decided that it was my duty to come and shitpost.
I tried to message you that I couldn't remember who you were on Twitter.
I'm not anybody. I fucking got rid of everything, and especially Twitter, because fuck Twitter. I'm never getting another Twitter again. That place needs to burn.
Yeah, I agree. I hope you've been good, man. I hope you've been good.
Oh, I've been fine. I've just been watching everything with God, man. I've had so many laughs. It's been hilarious. It's like everything, especially Josh. That was the funniest fucking thing ever. And then you find out that Hot Wheels also lied on top of it, and it's kind of like, yeah, well, they're all shit.
But didn't you lie several times? Like a lot?
I don't care, dude. It comes with the territory.
Well, maybe I don't know. Anyway.
But at least he's not a pedophile. Josh is a pedophile worse than Sarah Butts. I mean.
Zan, what's on your mind?
That was known. It wasn't known that he had intentionally fucked up the site.
Pedophile. That's exactly what a pedophile would do. I mean.
I don't know. I mean, people still think it wasn't intentional because he was not good at database coding. But I mean, I don't really care.
Why would you care about intent?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, does it matter?
Exactly. It's a waste of time to go over such things.
So I kind of wonder what's going to happen to it now. I think that 8chan is probably not going to last the rest of the year, but
that sucks.
No, it doesn't suck. I mean, there's nobody left on that site except Redditors at this point, so does it suck?
Enchan? I mean, there's no other image boards that are good anymore.
Yeah, well, there's quite a few. There's Enchan, but there's a lot of others that run on both LynxChan engine and similar engines.
You mean like Master? Master?
Well, MasterChan's a honeypot. There's some other places like 716chan, and there's a Polish version of 8chan run by Syzax.
Why do you care?
There's other places.
And politics on a live stream. This doesn't. Well, okay, we kind of.
I kind of interrupted. Anyway, so you were talking about Sanders and Trump. Most hilarious election ever.
It would be hilarious, but
it needs to happen. We need to meme it into existence. It fucking needs to happen.
Right.
We're almost there. It's a little bit more.
So, what happened when you heard the news that Acid Man was going to come after you? Because I heard multiple guys from multiple parties say that you had a very different reaction from everybody else.
Initially, I was pretty freaked out because I'd never had somebody try to report me to the FBI before. But then when it became apparent that he was an idiot, it kind of became pretty funny all
Was
the way
that
around.
before or after you talked to your boy Hot Wheels?
That was after.
Okay.
It was pretty much I talked to him, and then after that, there was like started to become apparent that Acid was a dipshit. So
yeah, that'd be interesting to read the logs one day of that. But I don't really care to that much.
There's really not much to them. It's me just basically asking him, like, I mean, if you didn't actually do anything, can the guy still get you in trouble? And he's like, no. And it's like, okay. So
You had to go to Hot Wheels for that, though.
So they
I went to a lot of people for that. I tried to get as many opinions as I could.
So
It's not a secret.
I got a question, Zan. It's been a while. How's it going?
What's up, dude?
They wanted to prevent people from digging, or they were deleting things that were digging.
Who is they? I don't even know any. Like, who's they?
Acid and
people.
Acid and Mark.
So the V-Click people, as it's colloquially called. I mean, I don't know what they wanted. I think that Acid was just mad that people were going into his board and disrupting it. And as it turned out, I actually got a chance to look at some of the logs of user post history that Acid Man had, and there were actually people doing some of the things that he said. It was kind of surprising because I thought.
Zan, when was this? Because after the FBI.
Do you have proof of any of your claims right now about Acid Man being correct? Because I would highly doubt, based on word alone, that either of your stories are correct.
Oh no, you'd be surprised if you got a chance.
No, because
okay,
listen,
so basically,
I rated his board. I rated his board for about 2 weeks. Every day after the FBI. No, I'm telling you.
Before anything actually
One
happened.
person does not make a raid.
No. I'm a Spurg.
All right, so in other words, Zan doesn't have any proof of his claims.
Well, no, of course not. I never do.
Yeah,
Haven't you done it with me yet?
You make a big habit of that too.
That's
so the 9/11 happened.
Totally an inside job, and the Jews did it. Yes.
But what was Acid Man claiming? I forget.
He was claiming that people tried to have him swatted, basically, and
That's
that
false.
was against the law. That was pretty much the entire basis of his claim.
Oh yeah,
but that was false.
Yeah,
no one tried
was
to have him
false.
swatted.
The whole thing was false.
Yeah, everything. He
The
didn't.
only thing that actually happened is people were trying to disrupt his board. That was a true claim. And it was
That's kind of a
interesting to find out that
given.
it was
That's not
true.
a stupid claim because anyone will disrupt a board
Well,
simply
exactly.
for the lulz.
Right.
It's a non-issue.
Yeah, it pretty much is. The whole thing was a non-issue at the end of
Then
the day.
why are you here?
But because I thought I would come and shitpost on your stream.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, that's literally the only reason I'm
You gotta
here.
do better. If you're gonna do like a little
Here.
talk like that, you should do a better one. Like I think Savage Memes did one where he basically outed Thidra as a Fed.
Hey, guys, it's completely true. I know it, man. Totally.
Yeah.
There's also pictures of Ralph's dick leaks around the internet. By the
John,
way,
didn't that turn out to be real though? I thought that actually turned out to be real.
Fact. There's absolutely no evidence to say that photo is not real.
God damn it.
His dick is actually not that huge. It's actually smaller than it looks.
Hey, John, I've been actually wanting to ask you something. What do you think of the Oregon raids? My take is that it was just retards versus legitimately dangerous authoritarian faggot feds. But
My thoughts on that was basically they had legitimate gripes, but they were also breaking the law. So by taking the actions they took, they deserved the consequence that came to them.
But what did they do?
They were kind of retarded.
With the possible
they were
exception of
definitely
that guy
retarded.
with the possible exception of that guy getting shot, because that doesn't seem to be to protocol.
Yeah, but what did they actually do that was illegal? I couldn't figure that out. Just being there?
Trespassing at minimum.
Yeah.
What?
They're gonna throw the book at him.
There was destruction of property too, because apparently some of before the four of them got caught there at the end, some of the other people that got away and fled basically were deliberately damaging people's property that bordered the wildlife refuge to specifically try to get a reaction from the feds, which at first, I didn't quite believe that claim, but there were too many local residents that lived around this thing complaining about what the protesters were doing.
Don't even start. You really are pulling that shit whenever FBI themselves have been dressing up as militiamen and...
I mean, that's true. You don't know. That's the thing. There's really no way to know how much of those were legitimate gripes or not. So
that's kind of an obvious
And they had agitators, so...
the FBI did get infiltrated. I mean, they did. The whole organ.
Oh yeah, no, they were there. Like I mean, some of the protesters even said like.
Yeah, that was so funny. It was in a way it's disgusting, but it's funny because they're like everybody I thought was a friend turned out to be a Fed. They had those four were so retarded that they believed I think something like.
They were retarded. They were just like I don't know. They didn't really think things through.
Yeah, because they're retarded. It's exactly that's what a retard. Those four were retarded. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that they were really, really stupid.
They were pretty Christ cucky. I'm not gonna lie. Like that shit, that David Fry guy. Like he's completely fucking crazy. Holy shit.
I agree with their views, but they're still retarded, and the way they act is
You
retarded.
believe in aliens?
I'll sum it up this way. They didn't prepare logistically. Then they bought into mob PR whenever they should have just pulled up and waited out the winter.
Pretty much.
And then talked a bunch of shit.
Yeah, no, but they would have gotten
just
killed.
Not there quietly. I don't think they would have been as open to be fucked with. But I mean, I don't know. You know, it's one of those things.
They wouldn't have been able to last till the winter. They would have gotten killed.
All right, this is like the third
The
time.
thing is, if they ended up being able to be prepared, they would have forced a better outcome.
How though? The feds would have just shot them. That's what.
Of course, they would have.
You know what? We need to pray. We need to pray. That's what we need
If they were able
to
to stand for the winter, it would have given them more time to broadcast, more time to end up pointing out BS that's going on, and also erode the psyops that were going on.
Everyone gather around the phone and let's pray.
Everyone, let's stay calm. Let's stay calm and pray. We need to just take a moment to calm down and pray.
Oh God, so much prayer.
All right, I'm gonna take.
And
a
they
question
still went to jail
because I think it'd be funny. Thidrin, have you addressed the Spurgout you had in the Androdal stream?
Which one?
I guess the most recent one.
Oh, if you were talking about me going out on Wannabe?
Yeah.
I hadn't addressed it in public, but yeah, that was definitely Spurgout.
What did he say?
The one where you were screaming and shit?
There you go.
But full stop. For Wannabe, you're a fucking retard.
He just basically pulled the Woody Allen troll on him.
Yeah.
Woody Allen troll?
That was pretty much what it was. And here's the thing, I won't ban you over it, but I'll still call you a fucking retard because you're still being a fucking retard. What he was doing was the equivalent of 1 + 1 = 3, and whenever someone told him 1 + 1 = 2, he would go into rhetorics.
Now, was that the same guy that was in DDM recently?
Yes.
Okay, I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I don't blame you for having Spurgout in that case.
That whole Woody Allen chat talk thing, like he basically said, well, I just want to say that you are a misogynist, and I think, wait, you're not a misogynist, but you are a misogynist, but I just want to say that you are, but I don't think
you get the idea.
Yeah,
exactly what it is.
How do you know he was trolling and wasn't just stupid?
Why not?
You don't do it. You could be both, but you don't typically do that for hours on end.
Yeah, it went on for hours.
I've never understood
incidents.
I never understood the whole misogyny thing. Like, what's wrong with being a misogynist? Most of the women in 2016 are fucking absolute whores. So, I mean, shit, the entirety of the religion of Islam is misogynistic.
It drains you. But the thing is, they want to scream that even disagreeing or not agreeing with women is misogynist, which is utter horseshit.
Yeah. This is another one of these buzzwords. I mean, it's like, so what if somebody's racist and misogynist? Who fucking cares? Are they, like, coming to your door with a lynch mob to kill you? No. So why do you give a shit?
I agree with that.
It's because of intersectionality, that's why they give a shit.
Yeah,
They
I
believe
actually
that it's all connected.
And their misunderstandings involving ethnocentrism, which they tend to base their intersectionality religion.
It's part of their fucking...
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, I do actually think that Zan actually makes a good point there about the difference between a moral system that's based on inherent values of people versus inherent values of actions. But that's more of a nuanced conversation that could have another time. In the meantime, I think it's been 7 hours, and we're kind of going over the same topics over again. So at this point, I think it's time to kill.
Zan killed GG Revolt.
I didn't know come back another week for so long. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Zan killed Han Solo.
Zan
who is his father?
All right.
Or you kill it. How many viewers?
22.
22. 22
The,
shows.
the other stream has 8.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna go on the other stream.
Nice.
Y'all want to go on the other stream with me?
You guys want to go and shit post on that stream?
I'll shit post on that stream for the law.
Yeah, well, whose stream is it?
You know whose.
Yes. I do.
Yeah.
Robin's back.
Before you cut
Are you
this,
serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, God,
And he's
this
basically bombing it, and we're just doing this at the same time for the laws.
Robin Gething is back?
He's
Okay,
been
so
back.
you know, I figured something out about Robin Gething. I finally figured it out.
Besides being a drug-addled moron.
No, okay, no, hear me out on this. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. If you think of GG in terms of phases and how it gets shittier each time, every time Robin Gething gets popular again, after being shit on by the previous phase, you've entered a new phase of GG. It's a cycle. He gets disgraced, right?
Uh-huh.
Bigger cucks come in. They don't know him. He rises up again, and then he gets disgraced again, and that's how you know it enters a new phase. Every time Robin Gething is
It's this particular letter.
God damn. That's
He's got the chat up in on the screen too. So whoever's the evil
Alright,
doxer.
if you guys want some fun shit posting, go over to that stream and have at it. He's a douchebag. Do what.
I'll put the link in the
Use
side
doors
chat.
of war.
I can't find the shit.
All right. Closing thoughts on my end. Okay. We'll be having another one of these streams tomorrow, Friday, 10 a.m. EST. Might not go on for as long because it's kind of wearing on me. And if you need to contact me in the meantime, I have my Twitter, my email, and talks in the description below. I'll see about adding some notes that are relevant to discussions that we had. Looking forward to what Verila was talking about with that Angry Joe stuff and some of the other bits he was talking about. Meantime, have a good night, everybody, and hope you enjoyed everything. Have a good night.
Good night. It's fucking 4.
Day after.
Good afternoon, then. Have a good night. Good afternoon.